there. I'll march with you. Come on, let's go. Let's get the Million Man March and let's park it all on Monica's trailer park and shut her down. I don't believe in free speech. I think we should get rid of free speech. I think we should condemn, duct tape, and sew her lips shut or her ass, whichever one you guys want.
Brad, did you get my message yesterday?
Nope.
All right, no
Well, I
problem.
think if we were to all hold hands and march forward and toward the campaign to elect John Kitover, not only would the people with extreme body mass indexes burn a lot of calories and start losing weight, but I think people who like to road rage and get very angry on a social audio chat app might burn some of that steam off and calm down and say, you know what? Let's go have a nice dinner.
Nah, I'm Irish. I hold grudges. And secondly, I have met people off this app. I've had nice dinners with them. I've had drinks. I've helped. I helped someone put a roof on their house off of this app. Let's see what else is there. Oh, I helped someone get a car off this app. Literally drove them to the fucking licensing center because this person didn't have a driver's license but wanted a car, taught them to drive, drove them to the fucking driver's license thing, told them how to pass their test. They get their test. The next week, take them out for a car to go get their first fucking car off of this fucking app. But that was me. I went to help somebody fix their car, put brakes on it. That sucks. I hate doing that shit. And usually you never have the part that I need, the key that unlock it. Chevys are fucking notorious for that. So, I mean, you just like the idea that I wouldn't meet somebody just to have that. I had some guy try to come at me, Minnehaha Park. He showed up and then turned around and walked away when he saw me. So I'm willing to do that. Met Brooks. He committed suicide. You remember him? Monica went around this whole app saying how close
Oh,
she was.
R.I.P.
Brooks was a close friend of mine. Brooks, I partied with a whole bunch of people. He was in our circle. We knew something was going on with him, but his family didn't tell any of the friends. His family didn't tell a lot of us. And then when we did find out, we kept it secret until some other twat waffle leaked it out. Monica went around here bragging and acting like she was a fucking victim. Let me tell you what Brooks said. Brooks said he wouldn't piss on her if she was on fire. He couldn't stand her. He actually had t-shirts printed out making fun of her. That was Brooks's shtick, and he didn't like her. So Monica doing that shit was performative bullshit and crazy. And that was the final straw on any type of forgiveness was the fact that she tried to gain clout on Clubhouse over some guy deciding to end his life in Minnesota, Minneapolis, next to my backyard, and then acted like she knew him better than Gerard, myself, or a couple other people off this app who we met him in person,
Hey, Brad,
drank with his
can I
ass.
interrupt you for a second, love? I just want to say, like, I just want to thank you for, because you're going on this whole diatribe, and I just want to give you your flowers. Because when I was in that, abusive relationship and stuff, and I was desperate, I called Brad, messaged him on Clubhouse, and he was there for me and really helped me get out of this abusive relationship because I had like no self-worth. Everything was done. And I just want to, shout out to Brad for he didn't even really know me then. And he was there and helped me get through it and talked to me like a father would. And it was just, I don't understand the disdain for Brad just because of he literally stands up for himself when people come for him. He has every right to scream and call them names. I mean, it's open, game when people come for him. And I believe solely in him standing up for himself. But I just wanted to thank you, Brad, for, that time that really changed my life, bro. Like, I don't know where the fuck I would be, man, if I didn't talk to you that day. Probably in the hospital, probably dead. So it's just, I wanted to make sure that, you knew that and you remembered that really changed my whole life, bro. Like, I don't know where I'd be if we didn't have that conversation.
You don't give yourself enough credit. You're stronger than you look, and you're stronger than you think you are. You're a lot stronger than I could ever be.
I gotta piggyback off of that too, though. Like, when people do roast other people on here, it's a matter of character of what they would do as to how they react to it. Some people will just leave the room. Some people will totally crash out. Brad crashes out in the type of way where he'll throw a fact at you, but he'll still manage to insult you at the same time, right back with 10 times more the heat. I believe that there's an authenticity there that I can really appreciate, because had Keegan actually made this claim and had Brad not backed himself up and just let all the pressure build up and overwhelm, had he not done shit about it, Keegan would have been right. He would have been the one. Brad would have been the one in the wrong. But because he actually spoke his piece, I actually feel like that type of attitude alone is what sets Brad from the curb.
100%. Dude, Brad is dope, man. Just dope. Like really good, like really good man to have in your life. Like even as a friend, he's just a father figure all around to like all the women around him that treat him, with respect. He is a literal father figure to a lot of the women in his life. So I just, shout out to Brad for always sticking by that morale and by that compassion, dude. Because I didn't really have my father at that time, what was going on, Brad, so it was amazing to just have that type of confidence spoken into you like a father would to his daughter. So it was awesome, dude.
The
Again, you're not
pockets.
giving yourself enough credit. You are a lot stronger than you think you are. You're a lot stronger than people give you credit for, and everything shall pass. You'll get through it. You're a good one. You're a
Yeah,
good.
this too shall pass. Wake that the fuck up.
I hate to play the devil's advocate, but pockets. Are you aware of Brad's position on cutting Medicare and Medicaid?
God, I'm aware. And I still fuck with you too, John. Just because y'all believe in certain things doesn't mean I hate y'all. It just means I think you're retarded. But that's okay.
Hey, guys, my favorite liberal, you know who she is, just sent me a video. Pop down in the chat and see what I'm inundated with on the daily. This is over the top.
Oh my God, Shirley, I just watched this yesterday and it is complete facts.
Those are complete facts.
Yeah, that it's more like a setup. They want these things to happen. They want people to do this so that they can enact these laws and these controls. I believe, yeah, it's a setup.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see. I that There was a gentleman in the room that was saying he was glad that they were going to up the police force in Washington because he was tired of seeing people die on the wharf from fentanyl when he was there with his family. I don't know. And Washington D.C. does not have a governor, so he's kind of got control over the National Guard in DC. I don't know. Now, Brad might have an opinion about that, and he is our stage military guy. I'm going to mic up.
Well, hold on, Shirley, before he goes, let me ask, does that scare you? With the fact that, yeah, there is no governor and he has that control.
So far, I'm not. Listen. I understand history, and we're going to have to watch and see.
Right.
What I thought was absolutely ridiculous is that we had 3 years of summers of burning and looting. Okay. And I kind of thought, hey, right out the bat, he said, we're not going to have a summer of burning and looting. And so the summer hadn't been that terrible. Now, I have a friend who works in downtown Dallas. There have been protests, but possibly no looting and burning. And there was some of that even in Dallas. So I don't know. I'm right at this point, I'm an observer.
Right. All right. Sorry, Brad.
No, you're fine. Um, I there's some concerns that I have over putting troops in there. He can only do so much for 48 hours, and then he has to ask an extension for up to 30 days. So, I mean, and then it'll have to be extended and approved through Congress. What I think is the major course of problem is the prosecutions in DC itself, because the city council, even the mayor themselves, has gone, and if you go back before this whole thing became an optic war, if you look back, the mayor of DC was bitching about the city council not providing enough substance because of the police reforms, because of some stupid shit, and congressional leaders allowing this. They didn't override it. They did override some things, but not other things. So there's a kind of a complex history of that one. But what was ironic, even this morning, Shirley, is that New Mexico governor announced that she's in a state of emergency for crime and drugs
Yep.
and homeless. So if you have a governor from the state, a grand blue state of New Mexico screaming this, then Trump may not be far off. And I have some concerns, but now she's going to ask the president for resources to combat that issue down there along the border. So, I mean, there seems to be some common sense to this and some trepidation and caution, but I think the idea that this is you know a major breach on people's rights, it is, and I get where the spin is, but it's not really because it's afforded in the Constitution, and unless we're willing to change that, I can't do a whole lot. Like Congress can take back power. They just need to take back power.
That was good. That was good. Let's see. So when I if I decide to answer the leave a response, what should be the consensus of the room that I can say, well, I discussed this with the clubhouse room, and they say we're watching this with trepidation. That would be a big word, wouldn't it?
I would say that, while we understand the rationale behind it and the push and the ask for both from people on the ground and even in leadership levels, I would say we're watching it with caution because, again, we, the people, are the stewards of our own government. That's what the beauty of the Constitution is. It doesn't make an elected king, it doesn't give them unilateral powers. Congress can even shift powers, but the power still, in theory, rests with us. So we can decide at that point of saying, no, we're not going to do this. And we can do petitions, we can do a lot of things that the government wouldn't like. So we're still in control of our government. So I would just say we're watching it, but this is why the Constitution is built that way. We have a lot of mechanisms to check power. In theory, it's just whether or not we're going to take them.
Again, see this is the Brad I love, the one that has the good answers.
So are we ready for the bold change that's needed? Are we ready?
If
I
it's
mean,
John Kitover or the debt, I don't know.
is
Yeah,
austerity bold change?
yeah. Americans for Austerity. That's the movement that John Kitover is bringing. So if you want to make America great again, truly make it great again, you should fork it over for John Kitover.
So he's doing Illinois, right? He's
This is
running for.
correct.
All right. So can we do like how about we remember back in the day we had like at least I did it. I did it in numerous rooms. We had a bunch of political candidates come on. We had advisors come on. I interviewed. I actually did a bunch of interviews, asked questions. Can we set up one of those kind of things to actually probe his stances and his political platform?
A town hall, John. Are you ready for a town hall?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I heard John comment that Dr. Adams was grilling him with difficult questions. Maybe we should get Adams to uh, uh, let's see, what do you, how when you take somebody and you teach them some stuff, give them the answers to the hard questions. I don't know.
Yeah, but Shirley, we got to be careful. This Dr. Adams, who I've known now on the app for about 4 years, there's a rumor that he is actually a political operative for Darren LaHood. That is the opponent that John has to get past in the primary. So I don't know if
Oh.
so
This could be true, but we also have hired paid crisis actresses on this app as well to defeat Darren LaHood. So it's all it's all about creating the right clips that go viral, and we create a mind virus against Darren.
How would you do against like a mock debate? Like, have you had any practices in debate? And I don't mean clubhouse debate, but an actual like selling yourself to an audience.
I think so. I've got about 20,000 videos up on YouTube, 20,000 videos up on Instagram. I've done Toastmasters. I've run for office a couple times, college, and for committee person precinct here in Chicago in the ward. So, I think I'm a decent public speaker, but, I was given some advice by Joe B about transitions. So you can always improve, be more clear, be more effective, be more persuasive or informative.
I was going to tell you, you should probably add one key above all of those: be a better salesman.
Be a better what?
Make sure you don't lose sight of the main point you're trying to get to. A lot of people get lost in trying to set out the painting of the picture to sending the message rather than actually getting to the message. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, be short, be succinct, get to the point.
Can I just ask the room a question? And this is for anyone in the audience, this is for anyone on the stage. Are you ready for change? Are you ready to have someone that's going to actually fight for you, or are you uh, would you rather stay with the status quo? It's an honest question. Anybody?
Hmm.
Depends on who's bringing the change. I'm ready for change. In all seriousness, like all snides and all jokes and all little fucking troglodyte trolling thing aside, I'm ready for change, but I am not sure because again, John hasn't decried his platform. He's not. He talks about the debt. Okay, you got a good understanding of the financial crisis that awaits, but then on your district level that you're running for instance, how are you going to handle the immigrant crisis that's existing on there and also the zoning issues that prevent anybody from developing those areas or into housing or bringing in affordable housing or destroying old waste areas and not use warehouses to house illegal immigrants? These are some of the questions that people would have about him and his district.
Well, I live in Chicago. I don't live in Rockford or Peoria, but they also have dealt with, this wave of illegal alien invasion. And in Chicago, with all the tents popping up and spending $1 billion on housing them, feeding them, giving them $6,000 cash cards, I don't think ICE can find them soon enough. And they're all lined up right there. If we had more ICE employees, we could get these people out of the state of Illinois and back to their home country. And that's my opinion.
Now this makes a lot of sense that you didn't know what the largest employer was in the 16th district because you don't actually live there. Even with this response, with the immigrant response, that is not the case for the 16th district. This is a predominantly rural district in the state of Illinois. It has not had the increase in migrants like the city of Chicago. Yes, so they all come from the same state budget. Yes, but your statement is actually inaccurate for your district. You should actually learn more about what's going on
It's
in the
just your
district you're
opinion,
running.
mother. You're not in Rockford. You're not in Peoria. You don't know.
My friends and family still live there. Bro, pick up the phone and call people in the district if you don't want to actually live there.
Oh, we're going to get there, and we're going to get there and march in triumphantly as a congressman.
But
You look
John,
like
you
a
see the
fool,
point?
John, with these
You just got
responses.
stumped. You just got packed up. You lost.
Well, welcome to life, where we take some challenges and have a little courage to enact change. Are you ready for change now?
You don't want my kind of change.
Well, one time I was walking down the street and I saw this poor African American homeless guy, and he was saying, "Anybody got any change? Anybody got any change?" And then I thought about that and I said, philosophically, he needs a change of
Fair
positive
change.
vibration. Too bad he didn't know about the mojo positive vibration.
Even Mojo wouldn't want my type of change, or at least my implementation of change. I would do it on the tip of a spear. I would do violence to change because I don't believe I would make the French Revolution look like a snowball fight amongst middle schoolers. That's how brutal I would go because that's the change that I would do. But you wouldn't like who I would target. It wouldn't necessarily be all the rich. It wouldn't necessarily be a lot of the politicians. They would be a lot of aides and a lot of other people would have that. But I don't believe change is. I believe change is only brought about by revolution and violent actions. Otherwise, I have yet to see change. And even those who will say, well, the civil rights was nonviolent, it was nonviolent one way, and it was not nonviolent. They had dogs, they had hoses, they got beaten, they got fucking murdered, they got hung, they got lynched. A whole bunch of shit went on during the civil rights. So I don't believe that change doesn't happen unless you have a violent start and initiative, and the winner gets to decide. Who's ever got the most bodies at the end wins.
Well, I don't know who from the FBI sent you into this social audio chat room to freak out my live stream viewers on YouTube, but I resist violence and I do not support violence. You may be theoretically correct about change and violence, but I would just say that as the contrarian to your position who believes in peace first and what the Declaration of Independence says, friends in peace, enemies in war. And I think, domestic and foreign enemies hopefully will get justice through the DOJ and Trump. But I don't believe in violence. I don't encourage violence. I believe in reading a book. You joined us, Brad, when we read a book, and I want to give you your kudos. You read it with such gusto.
Wait, you think warriors don't read? How do you become great warriors if you can't read?
No, what I'm saying is you took the time here on Clown House, to read with us, and a lot of people didn't have the courage, maybe the capability to actually read. Hakima read with us, and there were others. So, I just want to salute all those people here who organized themselves in an efficient manner, created a 2-day book club. We read the whole Tao Te Ching. I got a little bit of wisdom out of it. I hope you got a little bit of wisdom out of it, and we demonstrated that you can come together on a social audio chat app and actually create some change to the discourse and inject a new script, because the road rage conversations on this app for short-term dopamine feedback looping is a complete waste of time, because you don't create anything, you just burn up your opportunity cost.
Did you purposely mute yourself at the end?
I did. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say other than the fact that I have recorded 40,000 videos of everybody in this room talking about nothing. If you did any critical self-analysis about what you're saying on this app and how it's actually not creating change, you're just creating dopamine and repeating yourself as opposed to optimizing yourself or optimizing the system. The only way to optimize it is through Congress or through the Senate or running for president.
Or they're
Well,
actually going to your district.
well, hold on.
Oh,
Let me just add to this. If anybody is feeling in their core the mojo positive vibration, I would ask you to prayerfully consider making a generous donation.
so I'm gonna say this that yeah, there change happens from administration to administration by about what 4, 5, like you can say 4 to 5 degrees one way or the other. Like there's not a whole lot of change from administration to administration. Now over time there have been power grabs. There have been significant changes. FDR created the new society. The Fed was created in 1913. You have a whole lot of issues that are going off, and policies do have long-term implications, but the change isn't necessarily done overnight. It doesn't persuade. And anybody who says they're going to Congress or the Senate and say they're going to change politics, they're automatically fucking lying. Like I've heard this line all my life, and no offense, anybody who ever says it on a candidate stage says I'm going to change there, it's not. They are full of shit. Where you're going there is I'm going to work in the political system to try to actually bring something of value to my people that I represent. That would be more adequate. But they are not going to bring change. You're not going to stop wars. You're not going to stop the fleecing. You're not going to change the debt. You're not going to be able to cap off any of that. You're not going to improve trade relations, let alone between Canada and Mexico or any other fucking nation out there. Because quite frankly, it doesn't work that way. And you don't have the power to do so. And you're not going to bring a utopia. So literally, John, unless you can actually address, and you got packed up twice now in 2 days by Nicholas on topics in your own backyard. So I'm going to have to respectfully rescind any kind of offer of financial gain for your campaign until you've actually stepped into the role and actually start stepping up, improving yourself.
So, can I ask you a question, John? What made you decide to want to run for this district if you don't live there? Like, what was the
Well,
inspiration for it?
Hold on one sec, Mother. I just want to address what Brad said. Yeah, Brad, I mean, I welcome healthy and constructive criticism, and the fact that you don't want to give $1 or $10 or $1,000, I respect that. Make use of your money in the best way that you deem fit, because I think everybody should, optimize their spend. And the way I spend my money is the way I'd like to see the government spend our money. And I am sick of Democrats controlling, touching, dispersing, and giving our dollars out in acquisition and procurement projects and programs across the entire federal government and shipping hundreds of billions of dollars overseas. I know there's common ground that we agree on. I've heard you talk, and I agree like with 99% of the stuff you have to say, except when you're issuing death threats on a social audio chat app. Now, I know you also receive death threats on this app, and you are literally just fighting back. And I don't think I think anybody who would make a judgment on these debates, these Keegan Brad debates, is a fool, because to even listen to it, I think is a waste of time. But I understand your position, and I too would fight in the same way that you fight against a lot of these demon cacklers on this app who want to drag you down and waste all your effing time. Okay, go ahead, Mother.
No, I was gonna say. So I'm trying to understand the logic behind like your decisions. So like, what inspired you to run for a district that you don't know very well, that you don't live in? Like, what was is it because it's easier to run in that district compared to like a Chicago district? Like, what was?
That's the first question I always get from people that want to bring the campaign down. I live in the northwest side of Chicago. I am
Hello,
in Illinois. Hold on,
hello.
Mother. I'm speaking. Hello, hello,
Sorry, I'm in the
hello.
matrix. Sorry, it's my fault. No, go ahead, John. Sorry, I got lost in the matrix. Go ahead. I think I cut you off.
Yeah, that's okay. What I'm saying is people who find themselves lost in the matrix quite regularly ask this one question. You don't even live in the district. Okay, that's not a
John.
question. That's an implication saying that I'm not going to represent them better than Darren LaHood, which is an absolutely ridiculous assertion. How is $20 trillion in debt good for the people in the district of, in the 16th district of Illinois? It's not good for them. How is their property taxes and income taxes, which only go up in the state of Illinois, good for them? It's not good for them. They're not getting any kind of return on investment for their tax dollars. If you want to keep kicking the can down the road and having, $2 trillion annual deficits, keep voting for the congressperson you have. 10 years for Darren LaHood is enough. He signed a term limits pledge. He's already in violation of his term limits pledge. I too have signed that term limits pledge. And Darren LaHood is violating his term limits pledge. Nobody. This is all hypothetical and fun and role play at this point. But we're actually running. We need to get signatures on these ballots. I don't know the last cutoff day when we have to turn the ballots in to the state of Illinois Election Commission. So there's a real work that has to be done, and all the Q&A here on Clown House is fun, but you know going many days here on Clubhouse for 18 hours a day. Today, am going to take a break and actually, disengage from Clown House and go to the beach and get in the sun and, experience life, because, this is all just for fun. But this is good organizing and good communication here on Clown House, as opposed to listening to, heated conversations about nothing and, roast rooms. I mean, you can roast me all you want. I'm down to
So
be roasted.
okay. So in that 4 minute response, well, not 4 minute, 2 minute response, you somehow did not answer the question that was asked, right? Completely avoided the actual question and ran around in circles, kind of repeating the same thing you say over and over again. You're in a room asking for money for your campaign. You should be expecting people to ask questions and not be upset
Go
about
ahead,
it. When
ask
you're
tough
asking people
questions.
to give you money to help you launch whatever you want to launch. I asked the question. I didn't get an answer to it. That's fine.
Okay, let me ask you a diagnostic question. We're $37 trillion in debt. What is 37 times 1,000?
Why does this matter?
Because it's a diagnostic question to see how good you are at mathematics, or maybe accounting or forensic accounting. I don't know, Mother. We're trying to figure out
How
your
about you
position
answer
on the
the first
$37
question
trillion
I
dollars in
asked
debt.
you, and then we circle back to your other questions? Answer the actual question I asked
Okay, I live. Well, first of all, you were in the Matrix. Maybe you didn't hear anything,
you.
and
Okay,
I
that's
feel like I've
fair.
already
That's
addressed
fair.
your question. That's fair. Are there any other questions from possible donors today to the campaign to
Well,
elect John Kitover?
I have a question about this desire to know why living in one area and representing another area, why that's a conflict. People oftentimes can like live in the suburbs and drive to work in the city. That doesn't mean that they can't contribute greatly to the company that they work for. So I just don't understand where somebody resides, how that impairs their ability to be able to do their job.
This is wild for this to be a response because Republicans consistently trash Democrats who send money to elections across different districts in the country because they don't understand the needs of the local people. They don't understand what is actually going on in that district. I find it to be quite silly of a statement for someone like John who lives almost probably an hour away from this district isn't even going to bother to get in his car and won't drive over there and actually understand what's going
Well,
Oh,
on
we're
and then
going
ask for
over it.
fucking
hold on,
money.
but
Like,
mother, another perspective. See, you said he lives an hour away, as if it's a long time. He only lives an hour from it, only an hour.
only
Like,
an hour and doesn't bother to
oh,
go check it out.
only an hour. Listen, but he cares enough to step up and make a change. It's like being a stepfather.
So, Mojo, we've gone through this though. We've had candidates come on Clubhouse or people that said they were running for office, going against somebody who had a 92% approval rating in a certain Texas district who asked for money and funds on here, who went by the name of Tom
I
Slocum.
I
We Yeah, yeah, yeah. You had Christian Lamar. You had a whole lot of libertarian people who asked for a lot of money, including buying a wheelchair for them and then running for their campaigns. In fact, I went to one of the rooms you pinged me into, listened to the guy, and he was talking about how he's just trying to get signatures and ballots and needed money. And I sent 5K to him to help him get kicked off. So, I mean, it is only fair that if you're asking people like me who will drop 5, 10, 15, 20, $25,000 to a candidate to help get them springboarded, if you're asking for that kind of donation to John Kitover to run for the 16th district and to not have any idea what Camera Park and what's going on in the Oriental Market area and what's happening over on Haynes Ridge, those areas there, I mean, those are crucial questions that, Nicholas asked, and he should have an answer if he's asking and soliciting for funds for an office seat where I'm currently looking up and I don't see him registered. So I'm just confused as to where he's registering his election potential since he's asking for money on an app.
Have you been to Ballotopedia?
Doesn't he have to register with actually the state of Illinois?
He
No.
is registered, but by the way, the FEC filing, he's only required to fully file with the FEC after collecting the first $5,000 in donations.
Ah, okay. At this time, I'm gonna pass. I don't see. I won't be donating one penny to that because, I mean, again, Nicholas has some pretty pertinent questions, and even if you live an hour away or only an hour away, you should know about your backyard and the issues that are facing those people of those districts. Otherwise, you sound more like AOC and less like somebody worried about their constituency.
Got it. All right, well, you're
If
out for
Brad and I
today.
agree, that's an uncomfortable place to be in the world because Brad and I rarely agree on things.
Okay, you two have dragged this campaign down just enough for the moment. I encourage everyone to click the link in the chat, view the FEC registration. There's a lot of accusations from people here that regularly make death threats every single day to people on this app. Apparently, don't even know what they're talking about when they're making death threats all day long on here. So that's okay that you're out of the campaign for today. But I pray for your peace. I pray for your health, your wealth, your love. And just because you don't live somewhere doesn't mean you can't help the people that live there. I am living where I have to live. If I could live in a beautiful house in Rockford or Peoria, I would love to live in a beautiful house. Tell you what, if I get into Congress and have a $200,000 a year salary or 175,000, I will actually rent an apartment or buy a house if I can in Rockford or Peoria. But right now, I live in a beautiful house that I own and that I have to manage here and do all the landscaping and help with every little detail.
That's
So
not the question I
unfortunately,
asked
I
you,
can't
John.
get out there and live out there. No, I'm just
John,
telling you, Brad.
it doesn't matter
Brad,
whether
I'm
you live,
just
but what's
saying.
the chief areas?
Brad,
What's the chief
Brad, the
concerns
point
about?
is, I may not live in Rockford or
It
Peoria, but
has
I want to
nothing to do with
represent
where
the
you
people
live.
that live
Has
there.
somebody asked you what are the chief priorities and concerns of the people of that district? That's all they asked.
Well, your mortal enemy, some little dork on here named Keegan, who you have no voice control with and are constantly saying, I hate to tell you, Brett, if you look up the law, making death threats on social audio chat apps is illegal. That is illegal. You cannot do that on the internet. Look it up, Brad. I know you're concerned about laws and jurisdictions and precincts and geographic proximities, but on the internet, in the ether, making death threats on the daily in every other sentence. It could be Tourette's, it could be a traumatic brain injury from a service connected event, but it is illegal.
Hmm. So it's a nice way to deflect. So I'm going to recommend that nobody give money until he can actually discuss the top three issues that are affecting the people of this district, the 16th congressional district, till he can actually outline the major concerns that are affecting those, particularly those in the let me see. Particularly those that are, concerned about the immigrants being shoved into warehouses that are filled with asbestos and have been there for 50 fucking years. That's going under Pritzker's possibility. They asked about unemployment. 16th district, even under the current Republican, is struggling there with employment opportunities and jobs. Dollar stores are great, but that's all right. The redistricting, it actually may disappear in the next year or so if Pritzker gets his way, but they've already redistricted the hell out of this, and so I mean, I think you should, understand, McHenry County and a few others before you're soliciting funds on Clubhouse and try to get people to believe you're actually running a serious campaign other than just grifting. You sound more like Kamala Harris in her first run than somebody who's really serious about running. But maybe that was your overall intent.
Listen, I did everything I could possibly do for Donald Trump and JD Vance on this app, and we smashed Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And I got to tell you, Augustus Palante, who's working with this campaign to elect John Kitover to Congress, he helped Secretary Kennedy get to where he is, and Kennedy gave his votes to Trump. So I got to tell you, Brad, I've done a lot, and I think that people on this app have successfully regime changed this government, and we have Donald Trump and JD Vance and his entire cabinet because of people on this app battling these liberal, populist, socialist, Democrat demons. The Kamala Harris cackling demon of thousands of witches on this app and all the freak shows on this app like Mother. We defeated you. Trump is in office. And I got to tell you, I believe that we have to stop borrowing and stop spending. It's not the Republican way. It's not the American way. Plunging us into further debt at $37 trillion is anti American. And a lot of the TDS people have ADS, which is American uh, derangement syndrome. There's a lot of people with ADS on this app. I'm not one of them. I want to stop the borrowing and I want to stop the spending. I'm running for the 16th district in Illinois for Congress. Brad's a no today, but I hope you'll be a yes tomorrow because we need at least $1 from you, Brad. We need your help. We need your support. And Mojo, as the independent contractor, helping with this campaign, who is organizing these fundraising bombs and town halls. Shout out to you,
Wait, so
Mojo. I hope
Mojo's your
everybody
campaign
has more of
manager?
your positive vibe. No, he doesn't work for the campaign. He's organizing
Oh.
clown house rooms, fundraisers, and I thank you, Mojo. It's such a positive vibration. It's better than listening to never-ending death threats between a grown man and a child on a social audio chat app. Sorry, Brad, but you're wasting your time here on this app using profanity, vulgarity, and death threats. That's my opinion.
Well, that escalated quickly.
No, not really. It just is called deflection. And, again, he was asked a simple question. Nicholas said, what are the chief concerns for the 16th Congressional District of Illinois? You live an hour away. Can you express those? He can't. He talks about the trillion-dollar debts. He's soliciting funds off a clubhouse for a campaign. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's probably some some legality that he's probably like done it through, but maybe not. I don't know. Overall, I would say that donating to you, no, I wouldn't. I've donated to candidates on here. I've actually donated to Christian Lamar's opponents. I've given a lot of money to his opponents because I thought he was ridiculous and he thought he could um, piss me off one day. So I said I was going to donate to his opponents, and I didn't give a shit who. And I dropped about 10 grand into his opponents' pockets.
Wow.
So
Well,
I
I like
mean,
Christian Lamar on this app. I think he's a good speaker, and I've heard him
yeah.
say a lot of things that I agree with. But what was it that he upset you so much that you gave 10 grand to his opponent?
He wanted to have Trump, and he was going to advocate for having the federal government determine who and which group that would be aligned to be able to conduct business in the United States and who their customer base would be. That was his overall perception. And he had pissed me off. He also pissed Roger off that day because Roger got really fucking heated. A whole bunch of people got heated that day, and I said, I'm going to donate to your opponents because, quite frankly, I don't want you on there because all you're doing is presenting communism under a Republican garb.
Well, I say turn that frown upside down, take the deepest breath of the day, hold it for 10, not 11, 10, not 9 seconds. Click that link above and give $10 to the campaign to elect John Kitover. The link is in the billboard at the top of the room. Change now! Donate $10 to elect campaign candidate Congressman John Kitover to the 16th District of Illinois. You've heard me debate a lot of people who don't like me. And I believe that one of the primary reasons why people don't like John Kitover is because he has recorded you talking on Clown House for 5 years. And now he's running for Congress. And Mojo, that positive vibration, is creating fundraising rooms nonstop for the campaign. He's flying out Marshall Rankin to train door knockers so they can go door to door to door with the procured list of
Marshall's
all the
not coming out
voters.
to help you. I hate to
Marshall
tell you.
said he'd come out last night, Brad. I need you to fly out. We need security for Marshall out on this campaign. I need
Marshall
you
is
to be
not going to fly
chief
up
of
there.
campaign
Security.
security.
We need security for Marshall.
I doubt Marshall's going to help you in any facet of your campaign.
Well, Marshall, the man of the hour is here. Marshall, what say you? Hello, Marshall. You might be on mute. Let me refresh the audience. Last night, Dr. Mojo here, that super positive Mojo vibration, confirmed with Marshall that if everything was paid for, Marshall would come out and help the campaign.
Like I said to Roger earlier, I'm gonna be busy for the next month, so I probably don't have the time. But I could call in and do an instructional if you wanted me to talk to people. But I really don't have the time to fly out to Chicago, unfortunately.
Well, that's okay, because
But
Clown House is a
and
decentralized
I can
campaign network. You
I
can
can train
train
the
the
phone.
legions of volunteers right through Clubhouse, Marshall.
I can train the phone representatives. John, you're welcome.
Yeah, you have to train door knockers on which finger to use when ringing the doorbell.
It takes all of about 2 minutes. Extend your index finger and hit bell.
Oh, I'm sorry. Some of you may be unaware of why Roger, aka Mojo, the super positive vibration, has decided to allow me in these rooms as opposed to kicking me, creating fundraising rooms when I record rooms. And part of the reason why he's doing that is because of the anon or anonymous feature here on Clown House that allows anyone to join a room anonymously. You never know who they are, and they could be live streaming and recording the room. So therefore, by default, he has granted me this opportunity to use this platform and help organize fundraisers and money bombs for the campaign to elect John Kitover. JB Breska down there, a Clown House supermod and great organizer of rooms and debates, is our biggest campaign contributor and one of my most greatest YouTube moments, and making incredible records and recordings with JB. Thank you, JB. God bless you. The people in the 16th district, thank you.
You know, some people are resistant to change, and I've heard this manifest in different ways throughout the last few days. And I just wanted to say that that's okay that you're resistant to change. This campaign is going to be here. You'll have an opportunity to donate today, tomorrow. So just pray about it. Ask your deity of choice what they think you should do. And then just listen. Listen. The Spirit will whisper to you.
So I'm confused. Why did you use a military guy on your ballotpedia with the last name Kitchen on his tags and the certificate as well? And then try to pull that off as yourself because you also know that is we just sent somebody to prison for making up a false claim about themselves. They actually sent him to prison and removed his seat, so he lost that one. But you do know that that individual is still active duty from the profile that you picked. You know that they're still in the service, right? You
Well,
manipulated it,
I
but
don't know
he's
what you're
still
talking
active
about.
dude.
I don't
On
know
your
what you're talking about.
Ballotpedia picture, you
Yeah,
used a
that's me.
military. No, that's
That's
not.
me. That's John Zachary Kitover. It's me.
It's
Sorry,
not.
Brad.
It's Kitchen. You
Not
idiot. Look at the
kitchen. It's
tag.
John
Look at
Kitover.
the
Do you want me to
tag.
send you my DD-214?
Your tag says Kitchen, dude. Look at your image.
Brad, it's a blurred photo. It's old.
Yeah, well, I'm confused as to why it says Kitchen.
Brad, there was no cell phones back then. That's done with an actual digital camera.
I know how they're done. I was there, dude. I had mine
Brad, do
done.
you want me to tell you my military experience and my college experience? I'm more than happy to.
I want you to explain to me why your name tag says Kitchen and your name says Kitover. I want to know why the name tag on the uniform of the gentleman in your photo says fucking Kitchen because I can blow it up and see it from here. And you have John Kitover as this thing. I want to know why you're soliciting funds under that. Because quite frankly, I get it, Mojo. You're having happy hour, but you should have picked a better candidate for that one because he shouldn't have posted a military photo because you knew some veteran was going to come in and look at the nameplate and start there and look at the insignias, look at the medals, and make sure that those were in order. And then all you have to do is a quick Google search, and some of us have access to actually look up files, and we can find active serving individuals who have Instagram accounts that, for instance, are posting from fucking Germany today, and you somehow think that that's going to win. So no, I will not be donating. I recommend no one else donate, and I would oppose this campaign because, again,
Okay, Brad. Brad, I think you slandered me enough. I'm gonna have to, reply to you. I will respectfully reply to you. I'm gonna tell everybody here my military history and my collegiate experience. In 2001, I went to the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina. And as a freshman at the Citadel, you're known as a knob, which is like a polished door handle. And right now, my head is glistening. It is shining light. My bald dome. It looks like I've become a real human knob. So I graduated the Citadel in '05 with a Bachelor's of Science in Business Administration with a 3.75 GPA, I believe, maybe 3.69. Um,
John, what program were you in at the Citadel? Could you tell me?
I'm telling you,
No, no,
right
no,
now.
no, no, no. Tell me what program you were in that
It's
afforded you the
called
opportunity to quote be an officer. That
Yes,
you're
I
alleging.
got commissioned when I graduated as a second lieutenant in the
Hmm.
U.S. Army. I was
Okay,
commissioned in
what
the Army
program were you
National
in?
Guard. I took
What?
ROTC for 4 years. That's right, it's
Hmm.
called ROTC. That's what you
Hmm.
do at the Citadel. You can choose
Hmm.
Marine Corps, Air Force, Navy, Coast Guard. I chose
You
Army.
can, huh?
And I
Okay.
also joined what's called the SMP, the Simultaneous Membership Program. And in the summer of 2001, from June to August, I completed infantry training at Fort Benning, Georgia, and advanced infantry training there. And then after that, I got to go to Australia and study at Bond University in the Gold Coast on behalf of the Citadel. And then I transferred all those credit hours back to the Citadel, and then I finished up at the Citadel in 2005. And from there, I went to Officer Basic School at Fort Huachuca, Arizona. That's in the southwestern corner or southern area of Arizona, right on the border, where I watched dozens of Hispanics crossing the border illegally, even through the U.S.
Okay, can we
military.
stop this here? So you gave a whole expose about how you became an officer. So can you explain to me why the soldier in your photo that you're using to raise campaign funds is an E7 rank?
I'm not sure what you're talking about. You'll have to put a link in the chat, or you'll have to
It's on
update
your
the
Ballotpedia
PTR.
page.
Yeah,
So
that's me
again,
during my commissioning ceremony at the Citadel.
no, that's not. It's an
Yes, it
E7.
is.
It's an
Yes, it is.
E7. No, it's not.
No, that's me in my class six
Again,
getting
I will
commissioned.
call fraud on this one. I think
Okay,
you're
call front,
bullshit.
call the FBI, Brett. Go ahead, do whatever you
I'll
want
call
to
the
do. I don't
FBI
care.
for anything. I'm just saying you're bullshit. I think you're one of a million people that says they're going to run. I think you're Sarah Fox
I
saying I'm
am
going to
running,
change.
and I was a second lieutenant in
I
the
think
U.S.
the
Army
fact that you
National Guard,
used a
a
military man's
sergeant in the
photo
U.S.
in
Army National Guard,
E7 at
PFC,
best,
E4.
that's an E7's photo. You didn't go through
Okay,
rigmarole.
okay. You
I
see the
can tell
gold
you that.
bars? You see those beautiful butter bars
That's
on
an
my
enlisted man's.
epaulettes? You know what they
That's
call
an
those
enlisted
epaulettes?
man's photo, dipshit. This is how you can tell people haven't been in the service because you can't identify an officer from an enlisted person.
Okay, Brad. Sounds good.
Jesus
Everybody,
Christ.
if you want to go to John Kitover on Instagram, you can watch about 90 videos of Clubhouse recordings, and then you can see my actual pictures of me getting commissioned at the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina. If you want to talk to the dozens of classmates that I have who also commissioned into
I'm just going to
military
start
service,
calling you George
talk to
Steinfeld.
those people. If you want to see more pictures of me in the Army, I'm more happy to post more pictures of me in the Army. It's up to
I'm sure
you
you
how
can
far you
post a
want to
lot
take
of pictures of good men and women who actually wore a uniform, but you don't know the difference between an officer's and an enlisted man's
Brad,
uniform,
look at the gold
which
bars
right from
on
the
my shoulders,
start,
Brad.
right side, those epaulets aren't what you think it is,
Oh,
dipshit.
it
That's
is.
the
Those
problem.
are the gold bars when you get commissioned. And then I got a
No, it's
silver
not. It's
coin.
an
And then I got a
E7.
silver coin and I got my
Silver.
first
Oh, you
salute
got a
as an
silver coin
officer.
now.
Whew!
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right,
Brad,
Roger. You had your
Brad, I
fun.
know you don't I know you're not an officer and you don't know what it's like to get your first salute as an officer, but when I got my silver coin and I got my first salute, it was, fantastic.
I'm just saying you're full of shit. I think Mojo had his fun, and I'm just gonna say, hats off to the man that's wearing that uniform, which is not John Kidover. It's a guy named Kitchen who's an E7 because you can see his rank right there. That means enlisted. I'm not too familiar with all the ups and downs of the army. I was never in that one, but E7 would be a chief in my area. More specifically, it would be your first step as a chief. So it's after E6, which would be a senior petty officer. So I'd have to get another Army NCO to come up here and just go through whatever they had
That's
going on in
great.
there.
That's great. I can't wait to get more Army veterans into the campaign because I know there's a lot of Army veterans that are sick of the debt and the never-ending wars and the civilization rebuilding in other countries. I'm sure there's a lot of veterans who agree with me. And if you want to see my driver's license in the bottom right where it says veteran, you can see that too. If you want to see my VA card where it says service connected disabled veteran, you can see that too. It's all up to you, Brad. I'm totally transparent. You can come to Illinois, come to Chicago, inspect all my records, my boxes of VA medical
Edmund, I
documents,
have
my
no problem
boxes of Army
believing.
signature contracts. It's up to you, Brad. I am totally transparent and willing to prove to you whatever reasonable doubts you have. I will beyond
Edmund, I
100% prove
totally
to you.
believe you that you are special needs and have some like retarded things going on. I literally you spend an entire room showing people that you could do headstands in your Fruit of the Loom underwear on a video. I'm fully capable of recognizing that the fact that you walk around and have 30 phones that are all streaming and somehow or another you're in special needs camp. I get it. And I get the joke. It's kind of funny. But I'm not going to donate, and I wouldn't ask any of the Republicans on this side as some sort of butt of a joke to actually donate to you because, again, you're full of shit. And I don't like fucking people on this app being conned out of more money than they already have. So I do think it's a bit of a sick fucking joke. And your hyperbole and your moral stance, I think, is kind of shitty. So again, you're trying to dupe Republicans. You got like, what did you say, $500 the other day? Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I don't fucking know. But I hope nobody donates to you on this fucking
Well,
app
thank
because
you very
again,
little, Brad. Thank you very little,
you
Brad. Brad, I
you're
just
you're
gotta
gonna get
say,
very little. You're going to
that's
get
okay,
very
Brad.
little.
Brad, I have towed the line with really intense drill sergeants. I have had my ear yelled in more times than I can remember. I've been spit in the face more times than I can remember. And I realize that this app is a self roast. It's a barbecue. And I want to welcome everybody to the barbecue party. This is the roast of candidate Congressman John Kitover running in the 16th District of Illinois. You've just heard a brief little sample of this roast. This barbecue party is just getting started.
Can I ask what other changes you plan to make in Illinois?
None because all he wants to do is collect the money so he can afford his Sprint bill that's no longer in service.
I've heard about the budget stuff. I want to know what other changes you're advocating for. The other problems in this state.
Well, he's spoken about easing the occupational licensing fees as well as civil asset forfeiture things that would really help people in marginalized communities such as the Black community.
I will be right back. I'm gonna go make myself a fresh cup of coffee. This roast has gotten me thirsty.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Kitchen. I mean, I guess I should go to like the congressional districts and say that, hey, there's a little bit of fraud, there's solicitation on Clubhouse, and report this even to Ballotpedia, and then say, hey, there's this guy John Kidover who's using a photo and name of an individual who is also too stupid to actually remove the name of the soldier in the name tag, and then said he was an officer, which no wonder why there's some comments pointing out, and he can't even read the uniform and put an enlisted man's uniform on there. Fucking miracle! I'm amazed. And then claimed to go on through the Citadel, and then he's going to make change. But the best part is using a fake name, using a fake image, and using all that. I believe is a crime, and soliciting funds. I believe that is actually a crime. I do believe we've prosecuted people for that multiple times in the past. I'll have to ask a lawyer.
So I take it you won't be making a donation today, Brad?
Nope. And I will encourage every conservative on this app who's ever listened to me and anybody else that if you donate, you're retarded. Don't donate. It's not a special needs fund. This isn't the Special Olympics. You're not helping some kid get a wheelchair. This is just going to be some retarded troll thing so the guy can buy more like fucking cell numbers or whatever it is this guy does. And again, the guy here, John Kidover, danced upside down on a phone in a video and thought it was fun with his pea-stained Fruit of the Loom underwear and used to do yoga poses on that while talking about how the girls he banged last night. So this guy. He's not winning anything and he doesn't want to make changes. It's just a fucking clown house grift like he always does.
Well, I gotta say, it's better to be friends for life than enemies for an hour on Clown House. And Brad, I want to be your friend. I want you to donate to the campaign to elect John Kitover. Just $1. $1 could change a lot. In Judaism, they call it tshuva, which is a donation for charity, a nonprofit. And your voice is my voice. I think that this campaign is your campaign. I'm fully transparent. We are an hour and 21 minutes into multiple YouTube live streams. Last night, what's that redhead's name? Dystopia, or what is the name she goes by? Anyways, she said she agrees with a lot of the things that I was saying. And then as she roasted me, I created a YouTube reel for 3 minutes and I told her we're going to use that roast in an advertisement. So, Brad, I also want to thank you. Even if you're not willing to donate $1 or $10 or $1,000 to this campaign, your voice, your identity will be used in an advertisement that we run on Google YouTube in the 16th District of Illinois. So just because you can't donate your dollar you sure can donate your voice and your identity to this campaign. And I thank you illicitly, explicitly.
What do you plan to do for the education problems in Illinois?
The,
That's a
the,
good question. Can I just say that is in a room right now talking about Republicans? It might be wise for us to go and give Alan the pitch. But go ahead and answer Ashley's and talk about what Republicans actually.
You're kind of, I don't know if I'm in the Matrix or if you are, but like I only heard about half.
That was probably me. Hear me now?
A little better now, but it's still a little choppy.
I was going to refer to Joe B on school choice, and I'm a big supporter of homeschooling. I have a huge library in my house, and it's expensive and timely, to create. It took me 5 years to build this library in my house. And the biggest problem in Chicago, and what I assume is one of the biggest problems statewide, is the teachers' unions, the quality of teachers, their activities. I mean, they don't actually do any real education. They do communist, socialist, Marxist indoctrination, and they're good for nothing. I say, you know, cut the snake's head off, get rid of property taxes, and stop funding these communist training institutes that these teachers put on.
But when it comes like that doesn't really answer the question because I'm thinking of the gap in special education. That is something near and dear to my heart because I had a little bit of a learning disability. I had to take advantage of those services. Um, I have a child that has special needs and, she needs extra help at school. I have nieces and nephews that need help, and the programs down here are, I mean, it's pretty much non existent. And it ruins the future for those people that are in those programs.
Well, they are not doing that. That's so school by school. Some schools have a better special ed program than others. I would argue that kids like that will probably be better served in just a smaller school for starters. So whether it be a charter or a private, just smaller school. And in many states, I know Georgia's one of them, many um, learning disabilities would qualify for educational savings account or something of that nature to allow them to go to alternative smaller schools. So I would say that's the direction I would go in over the public schools actually for that.
I was asking John because he's running in my state. That's why I was asking
No, he's
what
not.
he plans to. Yeah,
He's not running in your state.
I'm
He can't
running in
run.
the 16th district of Illinois.
Not anymore. You're not because I just submitted an inquiry to both Ballotpedia and the filing group for your
Oh,
state.
okay. Wow, Brad. I gotta tell you, you are going next level, and that's okay because we need positive, opposition. I think you're a positive optimist like me, and
Oh no,
I,
I'm not an
I just
optimist.
think you should give $10 and let it go. 10, not 11, 10, not 9, $10. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I even highlighted that you're soliciting on the app called Clubhouse and Instagram and YouTube, and that you're also utilizing Roger as your campaign manager, and so that there does seem to be
Again,
some
Roger is not the campaign manager. He is organizing impromptu online social audio chat rooms to raise money for the campaign to elect John Kitover. Click that antidote button above if you've enjoyed this morning's content. Donate $10 or $1,000 to the campaign to elect John Kitover. That's
don't
right.
do
It's
that, guys.
all, ladies and gentlemen, Brad has brought the smoke. This roast room, this barbecue party organized by Mojo Positive Vibration and candidate Congressman John Kitover. I hope it's brought you the information you're looking for. Are there any other questions other than, special needs children in schools, I'd be happy to discuss funding for that
Well,
and why
since
it
you
needs
since
to be
you
given.
feel okay to do fake ranks and fake service records, and you like being that imposter, what do you feel about stolen valor? Since you're stealing it quite elaborately and then collecting funds under it, which is a federal crime, mind you, that comes with a
Listen,
big.
Brad, if you're going to accuse me of stolen valor, that could be considered slander, and I will take
Yeah, it
legal
is.
action against you. I went to the Citadel Military College at
Uh
South
huh.
Carolina. I was commissioned in 2005, and I was
Bullshit.
in the United States Army National Guard from 2002 to 2006. I'm more than happy to be totally transparent. You can come to my house in Chicago, and I'll show you the paperwork and open you up a German beer. How does that sound?
First off, fuck the Germans.
Hey,
Secondly,
Brad, real quick, before you go to the beer, why were you in the guard for only 4 years when it's like a 6 year enlistment typically?
oh wait, Haitian, it
I,
gets
I
better.
joined I
He
joined in
put
March of
It's better.
2002 and I got out in August of 2006. I was medically discharged in August of 2006.
again another lie, but he put on
Not a
his
lie.
ballotpedia.
More than happy to show you my
Haitian, he put on his
PTI, my
ballotpedia
commissioning ceremony,
a picture and an
my
image
infantry
saying this
school
is me,
graduation photo.
and the last name on the tag, the name is Kitchen, not Kitover,
Oh, it's
Kitchen. And
Kitover.
then he said he was an officer, but he put an army enlistment uniform on, E7 rank to be precise, and he
No, I
couldn't
did
Wait,
not.
figure.
Brad, you was named. Let me dissect this. So 4 years in the guard, you were E7.
No, I was not
No,
an
he said he
E7,
was an
Brad.
officer. He was a.
Oh, okay.
He said he was a lieutenant, but his
Second
picture
Lieutenant
that he
Butterbar.
uses
so
is an
after
enlisted
Second
man's
Lieutenant
photo.
Butterbar in the U.S. Army and the
wait, so you
Army
so you
National
left
Guard.
after 4 years as a
First to
butter
the
bar?
118th Infantry. Who?
You left as a butter bar after 4 years?
Left as a butter bar.
After 4 years.
That's correct.
You cannot be a fucking butter bar for 4 years.
Oh yes, I went to the Citadel. I got commissioned in June of 2005.
I don't care when you allegedly got commissioned. How the fuck are you a
I
butter
didn't
bar for
allegedly
all those
get
years?
commissioned. I got commissioned. This man you're talking to right now is a medically retired second lieutenant from the U.S. Army. Hooah!
Yeah, you sound like a fucking clown, bro.
You got
Four
a
years,
clown hat in your PTR. You're a dunce. Look at you, Haitian.
4 years
I'm
in the
talking to a
guard.
retired
Yeah,
military
yeah,
officer.
yeah. Stop recording the fucking room. That in 420 room. Stop motherfucking sending friend requests. You fucking weirdo. You got to 4 years in the
Oh,
fucking
you're
guard.
upset about getting recorded. I see. Well, you
Was
do
that?
know that the
What, no,
National
no, no.
Surveillance
What you
Act
say?
is already recording
What you say
this
about
room
ICE?
and spends $1
What did you
trillion
say about ICE,
a year.
cocksucker? What did you say about ICE?
What was that, Haitian? Did you just
What
call
did you
me
say
a
about ICE, you
what?
piece of shit?
Sorry, Haitian. No profanity in the mouth.
Yeah, fuck.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. We got to obey the rules of the house. If we don't obey the rules, we're just lawless. We need to obey the law. And no,
John, do you
Brad,
have
I am
anything to
not
say about the
committed to stolen
allegations
valor.
made
Motherfucker.
earlier, John? John, what about the allegations that were made in the chat about you dropping N-word multiple times?
No, not true. Sometimes I've held rooms and discussed the N word, but never used the N word because racism is wrong and bigotry is wrong. I love my fellow African Americans. I was baptized by an African American in the pool of the YMCA. I've worked with African Americans in the Army, at the Treasury, at Google, at Microsoft, and I got to tell you, I love African Americans.
Well, this has been fun. Again, I'm glad. The joke is at least explained a little bit. I hope everybody learns a lesson. Don't give money out on Clubhouse unless you can be
You know,
verified.
Brad, I'm going to
Um,
have to play the
if
contrarian to your position. I think everybody should give John.
So I'm going to play that contrarian position because I'm going to leave this room briefly. Um, where someone invite Haitian up because that was unfair of him. So I'm just going to be a dick. But overall, this is why you don't give money to people on it, despite what they say. Because again, his ID that he's using under Ballotpedia, look at the link, says, guess what? Kitchen as a soldier's last name. The rank in the uniform is E7. He wouldn't be a butter bar after 4 years. Haitian is absolutely correct. And Haitian, I'd invite you up, but I ran out of repeated things to invite you up with.
Yeah,
Um,
somebody invite Haitian up. This is messed up to put him down there.
I sent
um,
an invite.
But
I'm not sure how the room runs, so I'm
I just
accepting
kind of
advice.
just moved John down because he moved Haitian down. But But again, this goes to the grifters and the scam things. Don't give fucking people money on this app unless you're prepared to lose it. I don't care if it's a dollar. I don't care if it's 10, 25, thousands of dollars. I mean, if you're going to invest your money into somebody, make sure you know and make sure it's for a cause you can believe in. And look things up first. Don't give money to fucking idiots like this. This guy's been on here for 5 years doing the same shtick. And it's just a joke to just see. And apparently he's saying he already got $500 off of people here. That's pretty sick. And it's really ridiculous. And if you don't believe me, go to Ballotpedia, look John Kidover up, zoom in on the picture. You will see an E7 rank. You will see a soldier with the last name Kitchen. And then you can look up that soldier and you can see, oh, you can view his Instagram photos with all of his like little posts and all that stuff. So,
That's
I
not an
mean,
E7 rank. That's a military intelligence insignia on the front breast pocket or the front breast lapel of my classic
no, it's
M2.
not.
Sorry, but yes, it is.
No. So, and
Brett,
again,
you
I'm
can
not
say
too
whatever
familiar
you
with the.
want, but it's slander to accuse me of doing.
I no, it's stolen valor. I'm gonna call stolen valor. I don't like that shit. I really don't. I really have a crux when you like fucking use a military man's fucking picture and then you're soliciting funds on that. That one I have a fucking issue. That's a bridge too far for me. I have some morals. I don't like that one. I just really don't. You're scum because you didn't know what happened to that soldier. You don't know if he died. You don't know if he died in the course of duty. You don't know if he fucking committed suicide. But you thought to profit off of him. And as far as I'm concerned, the joke's up, and it's pretty fucking disgusting that it went this long, and that you utilized a fucking veteran to profit. And there isn't nobody, and you would get your ass beat in. I can promise you that. Go to your VFW posts. I dare you to go out there and fucking talk the shit you do at the bar with a whole bunch of them before your teeth get fucking railed in on the bar there while they're drinking their whiskey.
Hey, Brad, Nathan's army, isn't he? And maybe Eric?
Nathan is, yeah,
Yeah, well, we could ping him in here, couldn't we? And he could
you
go over
could.
it.
I think there's a couple people that were in
Probably
the
in
army and
Philly
they
right now.
I
Haitian, I
couldn't
think was.
remember Eric. I can't remember Eric, what he... I'm just thinking Chillis and people because that's where I've spent the most time.
But yeah, I don't like it when people grift off of fucking soldiers. I just don't, and that's pretty shitty, man. And you were gonna get caught. You knew you were gonna get caught. That's the whole point. You think it's fun, but you got money, so now you're reported. Now it's a federal thing. Now you got a few laws to tangle. So I'm sure they're gonna find one of those IP addresses. I'm sure they're gonna find you, and I'm sure they're gonna come looking because I'm not playing.
Hey, Brett, what's the picture he had posted?
An E7 in the army, and the last name on the tag says Kitchen. And it's under his Ballotpedia. And the
Oh, okay.
campaign says John Kidover.
Uh, Interesting. The 4 year butter bar.
Yeah, I never heard of that shit before. That one impressed me. How do you be a butter bar for 4 fucking years? All right, I leave it to you guys. Have fun.
I invited him back up because it's not my room.
Yeah, I have a question for him as well, if he doesn't mind. Is he still in the room?
Who?
His
John.
PTR's here.
Yeah, John, I had a question for him.
Hold on, I'm looking at it, and the picture is quite fuzzy. Is he talking about his name tag? Because the name tag definitely says Kitover
I don't know
on the
what he's talking about.
Ballotpedia.
Can you
I
post
was
it?
kind of, yeah, I
Can you
was
post
kind
it?
of looking. It's if you click at the link at the top,
Yeah,
you
I don't
can
do
see the
links.
picture in
I
question.
don't. I don't do links. Sorry.
I don't want to PTR somebody else's picture.
Uh,
If anybody else is
What is
comfortable, I
Brad
just don't.
talking about? What what
he's
tag is he talking? The only
he's
tag
so-
I see that has a name is the one above his lapel on the right side that says Kitover.
and Brad said his rank said it was an E7 rank also.
Well, where is that E7? I don't.
I'm not seeing the picture, so I don't know what
Yeah,
Brad's talking
okay,
about, bro.
go ahead, Haitian. What's your question?
No, how long you been traveling, bro?
Well, I'm 42 years old. If you're referring to Freemasonry, I'm not a Freemason.
So what do you have? Why do you have an apron in your thing?
Oh, I'm a collector. I have a lot of
Oh,
books and a
oh,
lot of artifacts and
okay.
records, all kinds of
Uh-huh.
interesting information, collectibles.
Okay, I got you. You're the wannabes type of guy, right? Wannabe military,
Yeah,
wannabe
I'm the
traveler.
wannabe,
I
the
got it. I
wannabe
got it.
congressman, the wannabe
I got
second
it, bro.
lieutenant in
I
the
got you.
U.S. Army. A
So,
Well,
wannabe.
I
Takes a
I don't
wannabe to know
understand.
a wannabe.
wannabe post Masonic symbols and not even a fucking Mason. I got it, bro. I got it.
I don't understand why this is being contested. That's clearly his photo. I can tell that's John. That is 100% John's.
Holly,
So what is
welcome to the
the
internet.
problem?
Welcome to the roast. It's a roast. This app is a barbecue. That's what's happening here. And
I
I'm
don't
okay
get it.
with that.
John,
I
I don't know you.
accept the rules of the
John, I
game.
don't know you to roast you, bro. I'm just fucking really fucking with you. I can really give a fuck. But you are
Was
annoying and
Oh,
killing
Brad
I
people's
agree.
shit,
I
bro.
don't think anybody should be on this app wasting time. That's a you problem.
was was Brad referring to a different photo than the one on Ballotpedia?
What is the rank on the one that you see? Are you seeing? Because I'm not seeing the picture. Period. I'm not looking for it. I'm not looking at it.
Um,
But Brad
I
was
don't
saying he was
see.
wearing the E7 rank, and he's saying he was second lieutenant. That's what Brad was saying.
Okay, all I see are a few pins on his lapel that don't have names on them. They're tiny. They're like small pins, and then above his right pocket, breast pocket, the name tag that says Kitover, but it's just a plain name tag. It's not like a ranking or anything.
Is it a dress uniform
So I don't.
or fatigue uniform? You looking at?
It looks like an officer uniform, like a green, dark green with gold buttons, and
Okay,
he's got a tie on. He's like accepting an award or something. Or
so the rank is there.
where? Where would the rank
But
be?
what are you seeing on the shoulders?
It's on the shoulders. I'm a butter bar. And this
Shoulder,
insignia on the front is the intelligence insignia, which looks like a star.
Yeah, I
shoulders
know. That's between him and Brad because I didn't see the fucking picture. So
don't have pins. There's just like buttons. Yeah, I don't get where he's saying kitchen. I don't see it.
yo, Mad
You
Cool,
could see
put this shit in your
kitchen in
picture,
there.
Mad Cool.
You can also go to Instagram, and my profile name is John Kitover. You can
Yeah,
scroll past
John,
all the
John, John.
videos from politically correct of you
John,
Haitian talking, and then you can get to my
John.
actual
You good, bro? I don't give a
military
fuck, man. You
second
good? You good?
lieutenant,
Okay, man.
commissioning ceremony from the
All right, great.
citadel. Totally up to you to figure it out if you want. But
Nah,
ladies
you
and
good.
gentlemen,
Nah, bro, you good.
this is not a question of stolen valor. This is a question of stealing $37 trillion dollars and $2 trillion dollars a year that we don't collect in taxes. Go to johnforcongress.com or click that link above right now to give 10, not 11, 10, not $9. Thank you, Clubhouse, aka Clown House, like Haitian here with his dunce hat on our great President Trump.
You know what? I was just about to donate to you, man. And you called Trump great, so I can't do it anymore, bro. Real talk, about to take you $100, man. Sorry, Brad. Oh, yeah, Brad. John, you want to take that back, John? Or should I call you clandestine?
Wait, did you just say $100? I'm over here dancing right now. Please hold.
Yeah, but you said Trump was a great president, so I can't do it, bro. Can't send it now, man. I thought you was really working on some shit.
Shucks, that's too bad. I was dancing over
Totally does, man. Yeah, dance. That's what you do best. Dance, boy, dance.
here. They say, join the dance and the partners will find themselves. I'm dancing again. He's dancing, dancing, dancing. Well, Hakima, what have you thought about the morning show for the campaign to elect John Kitover? Were you thoroughly entertained, Hakima? Ashley, were you entertained?
Very much so. But I mean, I am being serious. I am concerned about this state. I've lived here all 36 years of my life, and I've seen everything down here go to shit. Like our farmlands are being overgrown because farmers don't want to do it. Like farmers are moving away. I mean, there are fields that I grew up around that they used to drive through, and they were just growing every year. But this year they're like weed piles, and it's sad. It's really sad down here.
Well, change now is a good motto. I hope Dr. Adams, who is supporting Darren LaHood, the incumbent, that we are trying to unseat and defeat. I hope we can convince Dr. Adams to change his position because we need all the clubhouse support we can get. Now, I know some people are going to flip against me on this app because the contrarian position is always the best position to be in. And I understand Adams' position, but I think eventually we're going to win over Adams. And one night he's going to come gushing in. He's going to change allegiances. He's going to update his PTR to John for Congress. And we are going to take the 16th District of Illinois with Dr. Adams when he breaks the camel's back. I just have a positive vibration. I think Dr. Adams is such a great performer. This might just be a front. And eventually he will turn to the campaign to elect John Kitover, second lieutenant, retired, former sergeant in the Army. Will he win this election? But Ashley, I hear you what you're saying about the farming. Um, you know, I think we have to maximize, our farming, limit our imports, tax the imports, and make sure farmers make as much money as possible at, market rate. But, I'm no farmer. I'm running for Congress and I work primarily in digital communications. So, I would say document what you're talking about, take photos, shoot videos, make awareness videos on YouTube, TikTok. And, that's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm constantly calling attention to the problems, the dysfunctional problems in government, the borrowing and spending, the bullshit contracting. So, social media and that court of justice is really the first court of deliberation and reprieve. And everyone has that ability to start networking and documenting and being a citizen journalist. So there's really no other way to do it, in my opinion. Even if I win this congressional seat or make the primary, I mean, you're still creating content about what you perceive, as being things to fix. So that's what most of these Congress people do. Most of them just complain and create, Trump crash out videos, but nobody's really documenting um, and recording the problems that they would actually like to be fixed.
Well, I mean, if something happens, like you're fighting an uphill battle up in northern Illinois, I'm telling you, because I think you're the only Republican on the ballot, aren't you? That I saw
Yeah,
when I was looking.
other than the
Yeah,
guy that I'm running against, yeah.
yeah, yeah. But if you ever get a chance to drive down here, it's like a 5-hour drive from you. To check out how bad things are down here and like how much they could be improved. But this whole end of the state is completely ignored. The schools are ignored. I worked in the school cafeteria and I can tell you how like it was canned food, it was frozen food. They didn't even turn on the stove some weeks, right? It was all oven stuff. And it's pretty bad. And then the special education down here is trash. I mean, there's a lot of concerns I have in this state, and it's making it so people that have lived here their whole lives are moving away because you can't afford your property taxes. My taxes doubled this year almost.
What's keeping you there, Ashley? Family?
My grandparents, they're older. They took me in when they didn't have to, so there's no way I'd leave them.
Well, I love it. I came back into the room to hearing somebody railing against property taxes and the injustice that they impose. There is one person running for office that is in opposition to these said taxes, and if we really care about property taxes and the violation that that has over property rights in general. Um, I would just highly recommend clicking on the link above and throwing a couple bones to John Kitover so he can go and your voice in
If I had the money, I would donate, but I don't
one
right now.
one what $1 goes a long ways.
It does. It also puts you in our database so I can reach out to you to help us with the campaign digitally. And, uh, I know a dollar may be a time waster for you, but if you get in our database and we get your email or cell phone number and you're open to receiving messages from the campaign directly, we need direct digital action just as much as on the ground foot action. So your digital footprint and your digital activity can be even more valuable sometimes than on the ground action. Your retweets, your reposts, your citizen journalism, you will be joining a forever campaign until you tell us to stop spamming you.
Well, if you ever run down here in my district, I'd help knock on doors and everything if you could bring awareness to down here, because it's a waste. Like, it could be a good area here.
Well, who is your congressperson in your district?
Let me look it up. I can't remember off the top of my head. Well, I don't want to dox myself.
Do you know who Darren Bailey is?
I think I've heard the name.
He's a Republican who ran for governor. He owns a large farm. He's kind of like our, who was that rancher guy in Wyoming who stood off against the government? They made a movie about him recently, but he's just a
Yeah.
very politically active conservative farmer, and he did not win the governor's race, but he, made a good showing and organized more people, to the Republican Party of Illinois to hopefully, unseat and knock these Democrat psychos who are ruining this state. We're $200 billion in debt. City of Chicago is $60 billion in debt, with hundreds of billions of dollars in liabilities, just like the federal government. But the federal government has 100 trillion in unfunded liabilities and 37 trillion in funded liabilities. But nobody cares about that. Everybody wants to attack the military record of John Kitover and his second lieutenant butterbar status as an officer, a medically retired officer from the U.S. Army National Guard. Mojo, you just missed a very exciting roast of campaign candidate Congressman John Kitover.
Thank you for your
Ours is
service,
Mike
John.
Boss. Ours is Mike Boss. He's been for as long as I can remember, too.
No, thank you
It's
for
all.
your service, John. I appreciate
Don't
everything that
thank
you've
me,
done.
Pockets. Don't thank me. Thank all the thousands of dead soldiers in Iraq and Afghanistan died fighting for your freedom and liberty to give a
Well,
dollar
I
to
can't
John
thank them
Kitover.
because they're dead, so I'm thanking you.
Don't
So
thank me.
pockets. Let me just tell you, the best form of thank you, the most sincere form, is in the form of a donation.
Yeah, I was just he's gonna say it's in the form of giving some money.
Listen, I can't promise you that I won't make drastic cuts to Medicare, Medicaid, but for every dollar you send me, I will give back. Just, I don't know, does $100 billion sound fair, Pockets? How about that?
No, I support what you're doing. I think it's just the fact that I am just more emotionally invested and not thinking as logically because I do work with seniors and I'm very close with a lot of them. So I feel like my emotions do get in the way of my logic on all of this. So, but I do support what you're doing. I highly support term limits, which I saw that on your website. I think that's a big deal is putting term limits on people in
So
office. So I highly
pockets,
support that.
pockets. Do you support him a dollar's worth, $10 worth, $100 worth?
Yeah, fuck it, dude. I'll put in 10.
Wow.
There
Thank you,
you go.
Pockets.
Ashley, do you ever have the opportunity to go to your local county GOP meetings if you're on the GOP side or Democrat meetings if you're on the Democrat side?
I don't get a chance to because it's, trying to find somebody to watch the kids, and there's no way I'd take my kids somewhere like that. They're too hyper.
Can your You're married though, aren't you? Could he watch him?
Yeah,
Because
but
it's
remember
usually in the
he's
evening.
he's on the boat. Remember he's on the boat. So
Oh, I don't know what he does. So he goes off
he's
for.
gone for 28 days. Yeah. Yeah, he's away for
Oh,
28 long days. This time it was 5 weeks though cuz he went to school.
Wait,
I'm
wait,
very
wait,
proud of
wait.
him.
Hold on. Your
wow.
band takes off for 28 days at a time?
Yeah, he works on a towboat.
Oh. How do
He's
you
he's actually almost a steersman. I'm
how do
proud of
you
him.
satisfy your needs when he's
By
gone?
jacking off.
I read smut.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I was gonna point you to some resources if you needed them, but it sounds like you got it figured out.
Oh no, I'm 36 years old. I've done figured everything out. I'm good in that department.
Do you like rub one
God.
out with your hand, or do you use toys? How do you handle
Oh
this?
my God, please.
Macho, what the fuck? I think toys are the creation of the
No, I'm
devil.
Chase Gang. Chase Gang. Hashtag Chase
Nah.
Gang.
Vibrators are the devil's toy. I feel like they give you false hope for what is reality, right? Because no dude is going 1,000 miles per minute on my vagina. Like it's just never happened. So I feel like we got to get rid of all these toys because they're lies.
I don't even believe in sex inside of marriage.
Now that is an honest answer for a 36-year-old woman. Amen, sister.
Holly, I got a question for you. Since we're on the topic of masturbation, are you left-handed or right-handed?
Right-handed.
Okay, okay. I just want to know. So if I ever meet you in person, I want to know which hand I can shake.
Who
Oh my.
doesn't believe
Ser-
in sex within marriage?
That shit pisses
serendipity,
me
are
off that
you
I am not ambidextrous when it comes to masturbating. Because my right hand cramps and I can't do nothing about it. It sucks.
serendipity? Are you there?
I am.
Why is this happening now?
Because you came in the room.
I don't understand.
You did it.
I must be some
I
kind of
just heard
goddess.
somebody say no sex in marriage. Are you kidding
I'm
me?
kidding.
Well,
Yes,
hold
it was
on,
a troll. It was a
hold on,
troll.
I
hold on,
know.
hold on. Can I need to figure this
I would love to hear what you have to
I
say, but
know.
you are
He's
in the
Yeah, look
totally
at
in the
matrix.
God. Look at
matrix.
God.
Mojo is totally
The
in the matrix,
blender.
which means he can't scream at us for interrupting him either.
Ooh, that's an actual.
Listen,
Oh my
listen,
god.
Jehovah was
Excellent
like,
point.
don't worry about it, Mojo. You're not saying anything today.
Oh, I like being yelled at by Mojo. Other people, not so much. But when he
I'm
gets
just
all
gonna
like
say,
passionate and like heated, it's kind of like, what else you
Can you
got?
hear me
No,
Nope,
now?
it's not. It's not.
still
Nope,
can't
nope,
hear
nope.
you.
We can't do it.
Nope, nope, nope. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Meaning, we can't
Can you
hear
hear me now?
you. We
Can you
love
hear me
you
now?
We can hear you
so
some
now.
women
much.
just like to fuck. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yep.
we can hear
Yeah,
you now.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to say, ladies, go ahead and talk about all of your filthy habits. However, if a certain somebody, a friend of mine, enters this room, we need to change the subject because she doesn't like to hear about this. So
Well,
that's
do we
not
know
gonna
this person's
happen.
name?
That's not gonna happen.
you'll
Um,
know.
Okay.
they're grown up. They understand things, and that's not gonna happen. We're just gonna keep on talking our lovely selves.
I believe the ones who are most silent about the nastiest shit are the ones who are the nastiest.
That's been my experience too, Takis.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's that gaslighting,
It's
right?
the book
Gaslighting.
girlies. Yes, it's the book girlies.
Yep. I used to be very, very quiet.
And you a freak, girl.
Lady in the streets.
For real, yes. You wouldn't even know serendipity does some crazy shit.
Apparently, I'm so influential. All I have to do is go into a room.
I know. And I didn't even do it, Kristen. Did you see? I didn't bring that
You
I
did.
didn't
You
bring
were
that topic up.
very good. Yeah,
I was a very good girl.
you're very
I'll
good.
be honest, I don't like talking about it with people I don't know. My best friend, my closest friends, we talk about sex, but I'm not big on like
No,
it
I
as a topic.
totally understand.
See,
Masturbate.
no, no. I'd rather tell my strangest desires to strangers. 'Cause I don't fucking know them. My friends will look at me. My friends will look at me and be like, "I'm never sleeping over your house again." You know what I mean? So,
Pockets?
yeah.
I'm
Can I make a
feeling very
suggestion?
judged.
Can I make a
Of
suggestion?
course.
Yes.
Okay. So take how many times you masturbate per month, and multiply that by 2.5, and that's the denomination that you should donate to John.
I'm
Damn,
into
so
fin
I owe him
domination.
$20.50.
I'm into fin domination. Cash App is open. Um, yeah, I get off on draining men's bank accounts.
I think I owe him $25.
Was
I gotta
that
say
Cash App in bio?
that was an intense
No,
roast
it's not
room.
really.
Who
I said
roasted you,
that
John? I'm so confused. Did I miss it?
Brad really roasted me because he
Yeah, I
was
want to go back
upset.
to that.
He was very upset that he never made it to an officer status in the U.S. Army. And I respect his service and I respect his strength and courage. But if you're going to accuse me of stolen valor, I believe that is slander. And also, if you're going to come on here all day, every day, and make homicidal ideation death threats against people, particularly young people who are recording you, and if you are a business professional and you do work in insurance or whatever the hell you do, I think you're an absolute madman to come on a social audio chat app under your legal name making death threats and think that that might not have repercussions for your career or job, etc. So, I mean, be careful, throwing stones. And Dr. Adams, I am 100% confident that we are going to get Dr. Adams to change over to the campaign to elect John Kitover to Congress and ditch Darren LaHood, the rhino, a vaccinologist, and super debt creator.
I just don't get what picture he was referring to. The one on Ballotpedia clearly says Kitover. I don't see kitchens anywhere,
Yeah, and
so
I
I'm very
Googled you, John.
confused.
I Googled you. You're fucking everywhere. It's not really hard to find you. I was really dying yesterday when people kept saying, like, you're not who you say you are. I'm like, but he's literally everywhere online. Like, you go to your YouTube, you see your face, you hear the voice. It's the same. I just don't, I don't understand what's going on.
And the young man in the Ballotpedia photo that Brad referenced, who's accepting some sort of award, military award, um, it's clearly John. It's a younger John, but it's
Literally.
obviously John, and it
That's
definitely
a
says Kitover. So
commissioning.
I'm struggling
That's a
to see
commissioning
where.
ceremony photo. Yeah, that's when I
Okay.
got my butter bars pinned on when I was
Yeah,
getting
you
pinned.
can't take away that nose, man. You got a very distinct nose. Like, you can't, you can't copy that.
I was confused as well.
Right, Ashley? I mean, I think you and me were in the chat. We're like, what the fuck is going on? Like, yeah, I just didn't.
Like,
I was so
like where
lost.
his eyes, is he having a hard time seeing? I mean, I love Brad, but I'm just saying, it clearly did say Kitover. I didn't see any other place on his shirt that said letters. That was the only place that had letters. And he said Ballotpedia photo. So I don't know what other photo he could have been looking at.
It's a real thing, Holly. That like, if you think something is there, you're gonna see it sometimes. People are just like they believe it so hard sometimes, and it's what they see, and you can't prove them wrong.
The Mandela effect.
Dude, there was a
The
cornucopia of
Monopoly
Fruit of the
man does
Loom.
not have a monocle.
He did not have a monocle, and there was a cornucopia in Fruit of the Loom. I don't care what anyone
There
says,
was.
dude. And Pokemon
I
did have a
agree.
black tail. He did have a black tail. I don't give
Who
a fuck.
did?
I still have their Pokemon. Pikachu.
Oh.
Oh,
Pikachu
I
did have a
love the
black.
Mandela effect.
Nah, dude, I hate that shit. I hate that shit. Like that it makes me so mad because it has me questioning if I'm retarded or not.
And
So
it's not
it's
the
just
You know what?
annoying.
How
Berenstein
about
Bears, it's the Berenstain Bears.
Or
the one that
someone
I get
said Looney
confused with
Tunes
the?
was spelled different. Oh my god.
No, no, it's okay. Keep going. It's all right.
I've
What
had
else?
like
What
four,
else?
four coffees.
Because mine was like
Four coffees.
Sinbad. Mine was Sinbad. I was like, no, I that existed. It was like Sinbad and the being a genie.
Yes,
But
that is a
apparently that,
movie. It
yes,
is a
but yeah,
movie. Yeah,
but
Shazam. I
apparently,
am Shazam.
yeah.
And what they're saying that it wasn't. There
I
was
like
never a movie.
I liked that
Correct.
movie when I was a kid.
Wait, so they're saying the title of the movie is different, or there was just never a movie?
It's called
I don't
Shazam.
know, but there's something about it that they're saying. I think it was never a movie. So weird.
Huh.
Kristen, now you making us guess what the Mandela effect was with
I'm
that.
sorry. Well, here's the thing. I don't really care. You can mess with my mind. You can make me question things. At the end of the day, I don't care. Like, are my bills being paid? I'm sorry, I'm not much fun, but are my bills being paid? Do I have a job the next day? Are my cats and dogs fed? Do I have Mojo's attention? All of these things are
Right.
just first and foremost my
Well,
important.
hold on. The best way to get my attention these days is to click that link above. Smash that link above and leave a generous donation. That's the best way to get my attention.
How much did
Mojo,
you
I
donate,
think you want
Mojo?
to.
I'm going to keep my donation level private, but John is very aware of what I gave.
I need you
Okay,
promoting my
okay.
TikTok. I need you promoting my TikTok.
You are good,
So, real quick question, Kristen, and like I don't want to put any
sir.
pressure on you, but
Sir.
so in your support of John Kidover's campaign, are you prepared to like and share the images? Are you able to volunteer in a different way? Are you going to be using cash donations? Like, how are you planning to help the John Kidover for Congress?
I don't know yet. Currently, my present is my present.
What if
Well,
what if we just did this? What if everyone in this room that hasn't given at all, what if you were to just click that link and just as a gesture of goodwill, leave $1? Doesn't mean that that'll be the last dollar. Maybe it is the last dollar you leave. But what if everyone in this room right now, including those that have already given, such as myself, what if we just click the button and give $1 right now, just to recognize that we are in support? It's $1. It's $1. $1. We can all afford $1. And depending on what state you live in, that might be the cost of a single egg. You can give If you can give $1 for a single egg, certainly you can give $1 for somebody that's going to advocate for policies that will lower your cost of.
If you wanted my personal information, Mojo, all you had to do was ask.
I have no access to this information whatsoever.
Well, then I guess you won't be having it.
I will put $1 in an envelope and send it to you. I just have cash.
I want to speak to the people in the goo, people that are well resourced, like
I
Dr.
think you
Adams.
have been, but I could be wrong.
Well, Dr. Adams he's a doctor, for crying out loud. As a doctor, I'm sure he has an excellent salary. I think we can get Dr. Adams to part with at least one of his hard-earned dollars today. Dr. Adams, please let us know once you've clicked the button and you've given your support for John Kidover. Wallace, hopefully you've given. Wallace,
I'm
are
I'm
you, are
also
you
hoping
listening?
Matt Cool can give. Is Matt Cool still in the room? No, he's left.
I don't think Matt Cool's as well resourced as Dr. Adams, but Wallace grew up in the same area that I did, and I know that living in that area, he's got at least one disposable dollar that he can donate today.
You know what I have to say though, Mojo, is that I'm so grateful that my dollar is worth just as much as anybody else's dollar in this room, because I am currently in a country that used to be a first world country that's slowly turning into a second world country, and I'm slowly turning into a second class citizen. And I'm not very happy about that, but at least my money holds value.
Well, don't forget about the Clubhouse Anonymous. I think that by, giving money to this campaign, it's a better investment than even investing in Clubhouse Anonymous because I already have a Clubhouse Anonymous. And if there are conversations that you'd like to anonymously listen on through my YouTube, Instagram, or X account or Clubhouse accounts, you don't even have to pay the $5 to get the anonymous feature.
John, when you factor in every dollar collected plus the matching funds, what is the grand total that the campaign is at in less than 48 hours of kicking it off?
We're at $1,100.
Wow. Wow. And that's less than 48 hours. Imagine where we're going to be 2 weeks in.
I know. I will, I really want to optimize my time here and try to probably make, I have two offices in my house, and I know if I want to do more, I got to be in the other room and let these rooms run. I think disengaging and doing controlling my time is a challenge with the stickiness of, creating these types of rooms. But the Craigslist ads are not generating responses. So I have to find another way. It could be Facebook, and there's more work I need to do on to get campaign volunteers. When I ran for committee person, I had people coming out of the woodworks to help me. But this, because there's a lot less people involved in, the geographic proximity of Rockford and Peoria, but connecting with real people on the ground there that are sick of Darren LaHood is, who I need to find.
I would reach out to a guy by the name of Ken Matz. He's an elected member of the state executive committee of the Libertarian Party, and just connect with him. Ken Matz. It's Mattes. You can find him if you look up the Libertarian Party of Illinois. It's on the website. Reach out to him directly. You can mention Roger Mayhem and just say that you want to bend his ear a little bit and see if he's interested in discussing ways to defeat LaHood.
Okay, I
Jet
got it.
2 Holiday.
Ken Matz. Okay, he's got a Facebook and a website. Let me get to work.
He's also on this app, so you can tell him that he can come join any of these conversations on here if he'd like, if that's easier for him. But a private conversation would probably be good initially. I wonder if your piece is going to donate. I know that she talks a lot about looking to help the Black community. Um, Maybe she's willing to vote in someone that wants the same thing she wants for the Black community. Let's bring your piece up. Yes, your piece. John Kitover is running for Congress. You click the link above. What he's hoping to do is make sure that the way that government intrudes in our lives, and I'm sure that you've seen the way that they've intruded in the lives of your people, uh, you might find a great ally in John Kiddo. But click on that link. That's the first step. And prayerfully considering a generous donation.
If
I
the
have a
site would let
question.
me,
Oh my
go
bad,
ahead,
Ashley.
Baka. No, you go ahead.
It's mine's totally off topic, so get what you want to say out before I do.
I was just gonna say I would have a dollar, but the thing won't let me use my Cash App remotely.
You can use your credit card, debit card, Apple Pay.
I know, I just prefer like if it's not a well-known site to use my Cash App and I can't find my card.
Well, I do have Cash App, but it won't, go into the campaign account, unfortunately. I can put it in the campaign account and match it on your behalf, but you'd have to trust me to do that. And people want to make sure that campaign, disclosure laws are
Oh,
adhered to.
dude, send me your cash app. I'm gonna send you. Message me right now.
We have Brad back in the room who just conducted the roast of candidate Congressman John Kitover. And I thank you, Brad, for all that content. Even though you didn't give a dollar, your content is invaluable to the campaign. So I salute you, warrior, hero, Brad.
You did forget the fact that you used that sergeant, that E7. You used his picture before in season 2, right? You forget that you went around and said you were a veteran for multiple times and then got caught lying on it. I believe there's even a video because you record your own dumb antics at times. But you went around using that same photo way back when, right? You realize all this shit, right? Like there's nothing original. You're
Brad,
redoing a
I'm not
skit.
an E7. I finished in the Army National Guard as a butter bar, an officer, which you did not become. You're not a gentleman. I am a gentleman, an officer, a medically retired U.S. Army intelligence officer and former infantry sergeant in the National Guard. That's my military record, Brad. You can go on and on and on and on, but that's my military record.
So you're soliciting funds for a campaign as a veteran, correct?
100% correct.
Okay, so you realize that's a federal crime, right?
Go ahead and file the federal charges, and then you can have my DD
Oh, I don't need.
214s. And then
But
maybe
do you
if you
know
keep
anybody
making
else
death
that?
threats on Clubhouse, you too will have federal charges.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't care. Um,
Brad, I gotta ask you. I'm confused. Okay, you said the photo on Ballotpedia, right?
correct. Yeah, he's
Okay,
used this before. You remember
okay,
this?
but
He got exposed. The veteran
Brad,
who actually was on that photo came onto Clubhouse saying, "Why are you using my grad photo?"
Brad, you may have a traumatic brain injury, but that never happened.
Brad, that is 100% John. I mean, I don't understand. That is definitely his face, and it
Holly,
says Kidover.
Holly.
Oh, wait, it says Kidover on the name tag.
No, it doesn't. It says kitchen.
Honey, zoom in. It 100%
It
says
does
Kidover.
not. It says kitchen. You better look it up. And it's also not an officer's uniform.
I've got
It is.
glasses
It's a
on.
Class A
I zoomed
uniform.
in. It says Kidover.
No,
I'm
it
sorry.
doesn't.
Yeah, I'm
Run
not
your
looking at it.
AI algorithm. Even other people looked it up and said, "Oh, it does say kitchen."
Brad, you're gonna have egg all over your face on this one. I hate to break the bad news to you, but I am a veteran and I'm a graduate of the Citadel Military College in Charleston, South Carolina. I hate to break that news to you, but it's the truth. I'm not doing stolen valor and I'm not
What's
lying.
our
And I don't know
what's
what to
the
tell you.
oath you take? Just give me the first two sentences.
For the oath, the swearing in ceremony.
Where you come right in. The oath, yeah. Just give me the oath.
I, John Kidover, do solemnly swear to uphold and allegiance. It's not like I have it memorized, Brad.
Yeah, nice try, Holly. Thanks for playing. Come again soon.
No, Brad,
Okay,
I'm sorry.
okay, Brad.
Everybody
Let me
in this
ask you this
room
question,
looked
Brad.
it up.
Brad,
It's definitely him. I don't understand. I'm like actually kind of concerned for you right now. Like it definitely says get over and it's clearly his face. Like there's
No, it
just no doubt
doesn't.
about it.
Pull the picture out, do a Google search, and it'll say kitchen on the last name. Ask your AI, identify this soldier and their rank on there.
Okay, I'll do that.
yeah, Brad, I'm not lying and I'm not making anything up. If you want to come to Chicago, I will invite you into my office and show you all of my military records and, show you pictures and prove to you who I am that I say I am.
Also, you wouldn't be a butter bar for 4 years in the military. That just doesn't happen.
I wasn't a butter bar in the military for 4 years. I was a
What's
first
a
a
butter?
PFC, a specialist, and then a sergeant in the U.S. Army National Guard in the infantry. And then when I graduated college in '05, I became a butter bar. And then I was medically discharged in August of 2006.
Again, soliciting funds as a veteran or proposing as a veteran, that is stolen valor. And it is punishable.
It's
Those
not
involved.
stolen valor. I'm a Service Connect disabled veteran,
No,
Brad.
you're
What you're
not.
doing is slander, sir, and you're no gentleman. And if you keep doing it, I will find a lawyer in Chicago to send you a cease and desist.
Go ahead. Try to find all of it.
Okay, great. Well, it's everything's being recorded, so the court of social justice will prove that, you're making false accusations. You may have a traumatic brain injury, I don't know, but what you're doing is not genuine, sir. I'm being transparent here, but I am going to disengage from Clown House today. And, it gets very tiresome, and I need to essentially meditate, focus on my health because a good congressional candidate takes care of himself.
Like I said, taking funds as a donation or soliciting funds and proposing that you were a veteran when you were not is stolen valor. Now, you can pretend you're a veteran in any aspect. You can walk down the street with a uniform on. But the problem comes is when you receive benefits or funds or you raise some kind of financial gain in it, then it becomes a crime. So, guess what, buddy? You, I guess Roger, in this point, since he's advertising your campaign, and anybody there, since you said you raised what, $1,000, 500, technically in violation of crime because you posed as an officer on an officer that you already used in Clubhouse Season 1 and pretended to get into veteranry
Brad,
with that.
I'm not posing. It's a fact. I hate to break the news to you. And I don't go around this app making death threats nonstop to obese Democrat liberal women who are, interrupting you every other sentence. I mean,
What,
if you
as
want to tell
opposed
people to
to
grow
stolen
a set
valor?
of balls, try to talk to people the way you'd like to be talked to, and maybe you could end the vicious cycle of death threats in your life.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you walk into any VFW post in Chicago, or better yet, why don't you go up to Great Lakes, which is right there in the backyard, and why?
Brad, I'm in the American Legion, post 777. The
Yeah,
commander, his
right.
name is John. You're more than happy to go hang out with the American Legion anytime you want.
There you go, Holly. So, like I said,
Like you said, Ugats, Brad, I'm not doing stolen valor, and what you're doing is slander. Grow up and stop doing what you're doing.
I also found from 2002, looks like John Kitover was with the Citadel. Let's see. The Citadel's team captains lead by example. This is an article, and it goes on. He is listed as one of the top performers by sport. It says John Kitover, baseball maybe, or physical education 3.85, or no, or maybe it's John Kitover dash rifle. Sorry, 3.82, business administration. Is that right, John?
Yeah, I was on the NCAA rifle team, and you do a .177 caliber, put it on these giant suits, and I think what else? Yeah, that was the main sport I did in college.
So there's confirmation of that.
As this evidence presents itself, Brad, are you willing to apologize as the evidence presents itself?
no, because this picture's already been used before, and he got called out on it by the actual guy. This is not Edmund's VA thing. He's not a veteran. He didn't serve. He's full of shit. And he's collecting funds on it. He got called out for this shit season 1 and season 2 using the same fucking photo because he went on somebody's Instagram, one of the veterans that was on here, and took his photo. That's how you get this.
You know, Brad, I'm not going to go all day, but you may force me to defend my character that you're impugning and creating a slanderous libel trail on my YouTube live stream. But you know what? I let it go because I know that Clubhouse is a roast room. It's a roast show. And running for Congress takes a lot of strength and courage that you can only develop and perfect through military service, in my opinion. Having been to the Citadel, graduating as a second lieutenant, going through 4 years of ROTC, serving in advanced infantry training in Fort Benning, Georgia, working with generals, colonels all the time in communication, going to a general's office, going to a colonel's office, doing real military communication. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Brad, but I'm not doing stolen valor. And you know what you're doing is slander and maybe illegal with your death threats on this app. And I hate to keep bringing it up, but Brad, I'm telling you, as a gentleman and a former U.S. Army intelligence officer, it is not intelligent to come on Clown House and constantly make death threats to people. It's not intelligent. That's just my opinion. But who am I to give advice? Just the stolen valor schmuck, according to you. So, you know, just telling you, don't throw stones and go look in the mirror.
Well, I also want to read something that I stumbled across because, I want to make sure that everything's above board. And I'm reading here that in 2002, John Kitover, cadet athlete at the Citadel Military College in South Carolina, achieved a 3.82 GPA in business administration while participating in the rifle team. Like, how do you counter those facts?
Yeah, that's what I just said that. And I mean, I guess what I'm stumped at is it's so obvious that the photo is John. Like it's clearly John. I don't understand.
It's not. It's Kitchen is the last name. Because again, he used this. Edmund used this skit before. Again, he used this photo before. So Holly, you want to believe it? I don't fucking care. You can be dumb and retarded too. I don't fucking care. Like you donate your time. I'm just telling Republicans. This guy is fucking soliciting, faking his entire enlistment. He said a bunch of shit that isn't even true. He can't achieve anything of what he said. His medical discharge, he was a sergeant major that made it to an officer. No, the motherfucker would be 50 fucking years old. Like let's at least
Sergeant
cut.
Major, what are you talking about? I never
And
claimed to be a
so
sergeant major.
this idiot got
Up
caught.
as an enlisted soldier as a sergeant, Brad, a sergeant in the U.S.
Sergeant.
Army.
Okay. What rank is that? What rank is that?
E5 soldier. Who?
Okay. Okay. So you got your E5 here who spent all that time and then all of a sudden Mustanged up and became an officer. Yeah, and then you went to the
It's
Citadel
called
and
graduating
he didn't
college
get
at
a
the Citadel, Brad. The
yeah.
Citadel.
Yep. This is the motherfucker you
The
believe that
Citadel.
sits
That's how
in
you say
Fruit of
it,
the
Brad.
Loom underwear.
The
Fruit of the
Citadel.
Loom underwear guy who's got pee stains on it with 15 phones in front of him. Like, yeah, okay, you go
Pea
ahead, Holly.
stains? What are you talking about? Pea stains? Who's got pea stains on their clothing? That's disgusting, Brad. You know, Brad, I described you yesterday as a
Just go look at
heat-seeking
his
missile.
Instagram photos, Holly, and you tell me this guy with the 20 phones in front of him,
Yeah,
like
Brad, why
literally
have you
20.
never accepted my Instagram friend request? I've requested you on so many of my
I
accounts. You've never
Brad,
accepted.
Brad, I'm not defending who John is as a human being. I'm not talking about any of that, whether I like him or not. I'm saying the name tag says Kidover.
It
The
says
face is
kitchen.
John.
It says fucking kitchen,
It
unless he
doesn't
altered it
say
again.
kitchen, bro.
Unless he
This is
altered it after I
crazy.
fucking cooked his ass earlier. It says
Maybe he
kitchen.
altered
Even
it.
Adams,
Definitely says
even
Kidover
other
now.
people in the audience who zoomed in said, holy shit, it does say kitchen. Scroll up
Well,
into the chat.
everyone in here zoomed in. We all looked really closely. Actually, it's a little clearer if you zoom a little bit out because it's closer and you get it, the fuzzier it gets. But it's clearly Kidover.
The soldier's name is Kitchen. Literally kitchen. Now, if John changed the picture and did some fucking Photoshop real quick after I cooked his ass, that's different. But I'm telling you right now, when I'm looking up, let me do this. We'll pull in again. Yeah, it do. I ran it through fucking. I'll use this Chat GTBT. Yeah, whatever this fucking thing is. It's kitchen. Comes in as kitchen.
I see Kid. I seen Kitover as well when I zoomed in.
Thank you, Hakima. So I'm going to put my Instagram profile in the chat. Scroll down to the bottom of the profile. You can see more military photos. And Hakima, and I'm going to upload a special military photo from Fort Benning, Georgia, where I'm with two African American men in the field taking a photo. We were good friends. They
ChatGPT says the photo says Kitover, not kitchen.
Also, Hakima, the African Americans in the United States Army taught me how to crib walk. So if you ever come to the Lady Hawk, you can see my crib walk dance. I might spell out Hakima. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen, the roast of candidate Congressman John Kitover, former U.S. Army officer in the intelligence of the United States Army. That's right. Finished my time at Fort Huachuca, Arizona, was medically discharged from Fort Huachuca, Arizona in August of 2006, ladies and gentlemen. That's how I ended my career in the U.S. Army National Guard.
When we first went to Ballotpedia and pulled it up, it literally said kitchen. So I don't know what you guys are looking at because I still have it out of the tab up here and I still have the photo. And it was kitchen. And again, this is the same photo dipshit used in season 1 or 2 of Clubhouse. He was like trying to hang around Veteran Circle doing his fucking bizarre fucking bullshit behavior. And sitting there going and streaming people, and he was all treated this way. It's the same thing, and except now he's just basically soliciting funds and posing himself as a veteran. This motherfucker never served. This motherfucker never put on a uniform. And this motherfucker never went to the Citadel.
If you look at my PTR and like that's his name tag zoomed in, and that's from early when you first said it. And that's when I looked at it, and it clearly says kiddo.
Well, not only that, you can do a quick little search online and you can find his background of going to the Citadel. I mean, like, I'm so confused. Like, this information's easily searchable.
I'm very
Okay,
confused
Brad.
as well.
Brad, PTR, because you're too lazy to look at my Instagram or you just don't know how. But look at my PTR. That's the actual officers, the lieutenant colonel and the major pinning my butter bars on. If you don't think that's me, I don't know what to tell you. I know I'm 42 now and I don't have any hair, but that is John Kidover, aka me, in the photo. Look at my PTR. That's my commissioning ceremony at the Citadel after I finally
That's
graduated
not you.
college. It's me, Brad.
No,
I'm gonna post more
again,
photos. It's
it's
me.
fake. It's not you.
Brad. Listen to the
Listen,
words that are
faggot,
coming
we
out of my
know better
mouth.
than you. I tell you what, how many
Okay,
general
Brad,
orders
you're
are
gonna
there?
tell me my life better
So
than I
how many
know it.
general orders are
Okay,
there?
this is
How many
peak
general orders
clubhouse
are there?
insanity. I'm
How
just
many
gonna keep
general orders
posting
are
more
there?
photos. Please hold, Brad.
How many general orders are there?
Brad, please hold. I'm
Name
updating
one.
PTR
You couldn't
photos.
even remember the first two
Carry out
sentences
the
of your oath.
commander's
You weren't
intent, you
fucking
schmuck.
in the listed. You
Protect your
weren't in.
people and protect the assets and the equipment, Brad. Those are the first three general orders. I hate to break it to you, but you're talking to a former butter bar here. I'm
I don't
updating
give
the
a fuck what you
PTR.
are.
So,
Fuck you. You ain't your officer.
hoo, hoo,
No, you weren't.
hoo, hoo,
Yep,
hoo,
I
hoo,
knew
hoo,
it.
hoo,
Here we
hoo,
go.
hoo, hoo. Brad, you're gonna
You know
lose
what,
this one.
dude?
You're
Yeah.
gonna lose it.
Yeah, I think you're a fucking moron. I think you're full of shit. Don't ain't to him. And no, I won't apologize. Fuck you. Fuck them. Fuck him.
Listen, Brad, here's another PTR for you. This is me graduating the Citadel. That's my Citadel, senior uniform, holding my diploma. Look at that. And that's Major General Grinolds, a Marine Corps
Holly,
general.
again, this isn't this motherfucker here. This
It
isn't
is, Brad.
this
I don't
isn't
know what to
Edmund.
tell you, man. You're
This
wrong,
is
dude.
not Edmund. Again,
It's
stolen
John
valor.
Kidover, Edmund Dakin. I live on Edmund Street, you schmuck. Edmund
This
is
is
not my
Edmund
name.
all
My
the
name is
way. So
John
it's some
Zachary
fucking prank
Kidover.
that John or that Roger cooked up with
This is
JB is
not a
just some
prank,
fucking joke
Brad.
that
This is
is set
not a
off,
prank.
hoping he gets to like, oh what, maybe you're hoping he gets over the limit of $1,000, in which case the FBI actually does come to the door and
No,
fucking
no,
shoot you.
no, Brad.
Yeah,
The
they
FBI
kind
comes to
of
the door
do.
and
They push,
shoots me. All right, I'm
and
going to have to notify
it's
the
just,
FBI in Chicago now that you're
you
mentioning
go
that.
ahead, go
And I
notify the
know the
FBI.
head
I
Ross
dare
back here
you.
in Chicago. I've been through what I
Don't
know
you have
who
an
he
ankle
is.
monitor? Because wasn't that
No
discovered when
ankle
one of your
monitor on
Instagram
this.
photos
That's
when you were
just the
doing a
strap to my
handstand?
paddleboard down by my boat that I'm headed to, Brad. I hate to break the
You
news
mean
to
the
you,
boat you
but
named Amistad? Okay.
no, I didn't name it Amistad. That was Mojo here. It's called Lady Hawk. Also, ladies and gentlemen, this is a lot of fun. And Brad, I gotta hand it to you. We need you. Without you, there would be no conflict, and it would be the most boring recording ever made. So I'm gonna post the YouTube live. You can see me in my Trump hat, in my Jesus Christ T-shirt that I bought on eBay, and you can see a former U.S. Army Second Lieutenant Butterbar. And if you want to call my roommate at the Citadel, who has used me for his background investigations as he's moved up into the military-industrial complex, I'd be happy to give you references, referrals, people that know me, that served with me. And I don't know what to tell you, Brad, but I'm not lying. I did not deploy to Afghanistan, and I did not deploy to Iraq, but I did serve in the U.S. Army National Guard here in Chicago, in South Carolina, in Georgia, in Washington, and in Arizona. That's my record, Brad, and I'm sticking to it. And I'm recording myself live. So if I'm sitting here doing stolen valor, as you suggest, I would suggest that what you're doing, sir, is slander. And it could be libelous and result in actual financial damages.
Good. Bring the lawsuit on. I say you're full of shit. I say you're using stolen valor, and I say you're a fucking fake. Bring the lawsuit on because discovery comes into play, and then
Sounds good. Can't wait for you to discover the truth that you're a schmuck. I hate to break the bad news to you.
again, you're fake, and you're 30 fucking accounts, dipshit, fucking
Let me
belt,
get this
crazy
YouTube live so
fucking
you
idiots.
remember where the video's at because you're gonna
Man,
watch this
this
in the
fucking
future after you
idiots.
join the campaign to elect John Kitover and give $10. You're gonna Brett. There's gonna be time in the future, so I'm gonna send you my DD214s. I'm gonna send you my DD2, and I'm gonna send you the last one, the discharge DD214 that you
No,
use to get all
I
kinds
don't
of
really give a
benefits
shit.
that you
I
never
don't
got.
care who you got. I like again when this actually comes out and Roger and others admit that this is all a big scam, and then Holly can sit down there and again she can sit there and scream all she wants
Brett,
to,
I
going,
wouldn't
I
waste
didn't
their
know.
time if this
But
was
I'm
a
telling
scam.
you right
This is a
now, you're
pretty
Who's
full
shady
of
screaming?
scam
shit.
if it's a scam.
I'm
Let me
not
tell you,
screaming.
it's a big waste of time if it's a scam, you schmuck.
Brad, I'm not your enemy. I'm truly perplexed by this one though. I'm
This
not
is
screaming though.
Edmund,
Not upset.
and it's full of shit. And again, he tried this stick in season one. The same picture was used. It's bullshit.
And at that time, I was running for committee person, not Congress. We've upgraded to the highest level next to running for senator, which hopefully
No,
we will, or one day
people
we'll
you
run
were
for mayor of
sniper.
Chicago. You never know where this train's going to go, Brad.
That you took out and targeted half of the Taliban, and that you actually were bigger than Chris Kyle, and that you knew more, and you actually served along him. You gave this whole fucking
Chris
other.
Kyle. I never served with Chris. No, you know who I did serve it with was Pat Tillman. He was at Fort Benning, not with me in my platoon or my company, but we saw him at a distance. And again, this was in the summer of 2002 that I was at Fort Benning, Georgia, with Pat Tillman, who is now dead. And get this, I go to a VC incubator here in Chicago, and I meet the president of the Pat Tillman Association. And I've got his business card. And I said, isn't it crazy that the family had to fight so hard to get the US government to admit what happened to Pat? And he just shook his head, and there wasn't much to be said. But I don't know if you saw this, but Pat Tillman's brother recently drove a car into a bank, I believe, in Arizona. I'm not making this up. I will get the link and post it right now. Please hold.
I would just ask everyone to do their own research. Google is your friend. You can find out the truth about people. Um, John Kidover did go to the Citadel. There's definitely nothing fictitious about that whatsoever.
Over on this stage right now.
What was that?
Get over on this stage right now. Is that person that you're alluding to actually speaking in this room right now?
Well, that's
That's
the
right.
claim. That's the claim.
Ah, there you go, people. Like I said, Holly, full of shit. And again, don't doubt me next time when I tell you don't fucking fall for this shit.
But we know what he looks like through YouTube. We've heard his voice, so we know this is the same individual that's on YouTube. Um, and then if you pair that, who you see in the YouTube videos, with the photos, the military photos, that's the same person as well. So how can this not be the person in the photos when we can link it
It's
to his
fake.
YouTube?
It's fake. Again, it's a big troll. It's a trick. It's like believing that Roger really fetishizes about Monica and thinks she's a wonderful person and that he thinks she's beautiful. It's full of shit.
Brad, PTR, that's me with my commissioning documents, my oath and signature to uphold the U.S. Constitution. That's me in my new Class A uniform with military intelligence pinnings in the front and on my appetats or whatever it is. I got my gold bars on there. So we're
Your
clean shaven.
epaulets that you can't even pronounce,
Epaulets.
something
You
that
know,
you would
I was
actually
going to
know.
ask you, how do you say epaulets? Couldn't think about
Jesus,
how to say
I
it.
thought an officer who was of military intelligence would have that, but no. I guess your dumb fucking fake scamming, fucking stolen valor, fucking parading asses couldn't get the fucking lingo right. Next time, don't have a veteran on stage when you try this kit, and make sure veterans aren't in the audience.
Brad, I'm going to tell you again, if you keep slandering me and committing libel, I'm going to hire the best campaign attorney that this campaign can afford, and we are going to roast you on Clubhouse. But I
How
wouldn't
about we
dare
just settle this
waste
and
a
you just go down to the
dollar that
VFW? I'll give
anyone
them
has
a
given
call
to
and they
this
can
campaign
help you get
to
free
sue you.
dentures for a day.
I hope the constituents know that I would never waste a dollar of this campaign fund,
Yeah,
wasting
I
my
bet you
time
did. I
suing
bet you
Bradley
did.
from Clown House.
Go ahead, sue. You're full of shit.
I'm not going to sue you. You
I'll
should
make
be
sure though.
worried
I'll
about
tell you
what you're
what though,
saying
since we
on
are
this
all
app, Brad.
about taking care of the mentally ill, I will for sure press charges and say you are mentally ill and get you locked up in that hospital so they have Thorazine and lithium injected into your ass or however that shit works and kind of continuous basis, and then you can go through
Oh my
ECT.
gosh,
I
Brad.
think it'd be a fantastic way, and then we don't have to
Brad,
worry about admin.
relax. Relax, Brad. Relax. You know, I say friends for life. I agree with most things you say on this app, except when you're making death threats. It's the only time I don't agree with what you're saying. But I know you're a wealth of information. I've asked you where you get your information. You told me all these amazing sources, and I was like, wow, this guy really cares and he knows a lot. So I'm not trying to have conflict with you, but I'm also trying to defend myself because what you're doing, sir, is slander, and you are no gentleman. Anyone who comes on a Clown House social audio app to use profanity and vulgar against low IQ racists like Keegan or Pepe, or screaming at that beautiful, what's her face? Anyways, the ladies that you were screaming at and making them cry because they may be obese and you told them some unfortunate truths. All I can say is that I do not like making women cry. It makes me feel uncomfortable. But what I'm trying to do is find a recording from 2 days ago when you were saying atrocious things to women. I don't know. That violates the rules of this house. I won't bring in old drama. Let's just be in the now, in the muff.
Again, like I said, stolen valor. And for those of you, who is it? Cindy. I don't know what this fucking idiot's name is. Holly, Hakima, Roger. Yes, he was. I don't know what to tell you. Serendipity. And yeah, well, of course, John. You never served. You never put on a uniform. You never had to fucking. You don't even know what the parts of your uniform are. So again, next time, pull a trick, but make it more believable. It's almost as believable as Roger wanting the whitest of white women and the fattest of fattest women, Monica, to and flirt with, because damn sure well know that that's not Roger's type. And I've known Roger for 4 or 5 fucking years. That ain't his type. So I mean, again, it makes it like it's a good troll. I'll give you that. And apparently, you got a lot of people, including Holly, who's all butthurt about it.
My type is evolving.
I'm not butthurt. Why? I don't understand why you think I'm upset.
Well, Brad, I don't know what to tell you, but I'll tell you what I did do when I was at Fort Benning, Georgia, after we did the bayonet, which is a 20-mile ruck into a river where you go across a wire and then you assault a turret or a mill box. And I got to tell you, we would have gotten wiped out. There was no leadership. The drill sergeants disappeared and they observed from a distance, and we would have all gotten wiped out. Nobody was formed in a way that would have prevented friendly fire. There was no, we were trained for many months, and I'll tell you, the after action ready review with our drill sergeants, they dropped their heads and were shaking their heads in total disbelief of why we all just got, eliminated by this, enemy position. And I had to agree with them. We were totally uncoordinated, and it was pathetic. But we were also exhausted, and I think everybody was just like, "This is it. It's finally over." But we did not take out that enemy turret because I gotta say, I don't know what happened to us, but our conditioning, our training to do flank movements and assault positions, it just we got wiped out. So that was the bayonet. That's the culmination. And then from there, you go into the forest and you drink fruit punch, and you see all the banners from all the different military conquests of America, from World War II to World War One to uh, battles in Cuba. You see all these incredible flyers and banners they put up, and then you drink fruit punch. That's how infantry training culminates at Fort Benning, Georgia.
Oh, I bet you drank a lot of fruit punch. I mean, you are what you drink, you need. So yeah, you are a fruit. That's it. That's the only
Brad,
part
it's
you
a
got right about
metaphor
that
for
entire
blood,
story.
blood, blood. Not in a fruity way, Brad. Don't project. I'm just saying that you drink fruit punch because it's a metaphor for being bloodthirsty warriors.
I will hand it to you, Roger. You did one of the most epic trolls on here. I mean, you surpassed a lot of people on here. I mean, you may have actually beat Alex New York. I think hats off to you, sir. You did it. I congratulate you. Again, running a campaign and having Edmund pretend that he's a veteran and he's other people and he's got all these credentials, even getting Holly to believe it. Like, holy fuck. I never thought some people would be that dupable or gullible or any of those. Hats off to you. Holy shit. Like, yeah, I'm no longer going to stop people and call out bullshit and stop you Republicans and conservatives when you actually come back at me and then you'll say, "Oh, I'm crazy, I'm dumb." Yet for 5 years, you're going to now say, "Oh, I'm going to take this guy seriously." All of a sudden, in a month, because Roger gave your blessing, this is the most sheep herding mentality I have ever heard of, and it's insane. It's actually insane. I hats off to you, Roger. You win. I'm
Well,
wrong.
Brad,
People
you know
are
what
this
else is
dumb.
insane? Coming on social audio chat apps and making death threats. That too could be illegal. Not just insane, but illegal. Now, I am accused often of illicit recordings, which could be violating Illinois or federal law. However, I have to say, in today's day and age, live streaming all your activities, especially your political activities, could be the safest move you make in anticipation of some type of lawsuit or counter lawsuit. Because every time you get sued, guess what you can do? You can countersue. So
Edmund,
changes
you ain't
now,
suing
and
anybody.
we need you,
You
the
ain't suing
roasters,
anybody,
candidate
dude. You haven't
Congressman
achieved
John
anything.
Kitover, to donate $10, not $11, not $9, but $10. Click that link above right now.
Do it. Go ahead, Holly. Give 100. Give 100. Give 1,000. Give 10,000. Again, I recommend it. Everybody believe Edmund. I think I've done my work here. I've done it twice in one day. I'm on a roll. I've cooked Keegan yesterday. Crushed Edmund. I've crushed his. Jesus Christ. The army sucks anyway. Like, you guys are a bunch of beta bitches, so it would make sense that you're going to try to grift off the most beta bitch, except for the chair force. But I mean, it's a close tie there. Um, but I mean, at least get your own thing. But yeah, go ahead, Holly. Continue to do that. Have fun. think I win this round.
I haven't even said I'm supporting him in any way, shape, or form, financially or otherwise. I'm just, like, why do you keep you're taking it all too far?
Edmund is a veteran, is the newest fucking roast yet.
That was revelry there. That was me whistling revelry. There's no way I could whistle that unless I listened to that thousands of times. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've had another exciting edition of Clown House Drama. Heated conversations about nothing. People causing crises, causing slander, causing all kinds of chaos here on Clown House. Chaos agents, as I like to call them. Men that are not gentlemen. They don't know the first thing about being a gentleman, a soft man, a supple man, someone who has stopped with the road raging, sick and tired of people lying and borrowing and spending on your behalf. If you're sick of people like that, then you need to give $1 to the campaign to elect candidate Congressman John Kitover in the 16th District of Illinois. Hooah! We got the quotation marks down there, or apostrophes, who is a friend of the show and a fellow Clubhouse recorder. He might be, oh, we'll see, is contributing. Thank you, we'll see. God bless you. Serendipity, if you want to mod me, I will remove the poll, which I will say 80% of people voted that I am a veteran. 20% say no effing way this idiot served. Now, I understand if you said that this idiot didn't serve because I am a clown. I'm a comedian, and clowns are stupid idiots. So, but there's a mystical approach to being stupid that I think maybe you're overlooking. But let me pin the link again, and then this will be the final campaign shout out for a donation today, because we have to get off the Clown House. This is beyond pathetic that we're here these many hours. I feel like it's not helping the campaign, it's hurting my physical body because I need to exercise. I have been skipping the gym because Roger Mayhem has been pushing it to the limit, limit, limit. Everyday mojo's positive vibration grows in strength in this house, in the muff, in the muff. You see what I'm talking about? That's super positive vibration. Okay, click the link above. Link has been pinned. The campaign to elect John Kitover, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, we have an EIN, we have a bank account, we have an FEC filing. To run for Congress, we have a campaign financial disclosure we have submitted, and we have raised $1,100, $550 yesterday, and I'm matching the other 550. Dr. Adams, I know we can convince you. Wallace, I think you've contributed. I thank you. And anybody else here who is considering it, just remember that I'm fully transparent. Tell me your priority, and I will put it in our collection of priorities. And we will see where your priority lines up with all the priorities and how we can financially optimize by winning this congressional district. I can tell you how Darren LaHood has optimized his congressional district by creating $20 trillion in debt. You can look at all the HR acts that he votes on and the top 10 HR acts in terms of dollar amounts. And there's his name on some of the biggest multi-trillion omnibuses in American congressional history. It's right there. Just Google Darren LaHood HR acts or go on Grok and ask, "Dear Grok, please tell me the largest HR acts that Darren LaHood has voted on, and then tag Darren LaHood and say all the voters in District 16 should vote for candidate Congressman John Kitover on X. Go to John Kitover IL on X right now. See, all this heated debate with Brad, we could have just spent some time creating content and posting on X to attack and unseat Darren LaHood, but instead, we've got road ragers on this app who, once they get behind the wheel, they are incapable of going from point A to point B without yelling at somebody, getting in an accident, getting out of their car and punching out the other driver and screaming all kinds of profanities, vulgarities, and homicidal death ideation on Clown House. Am I deaf or am I just hearing things? Sometimes I don't know. I let it go. I don't live my life in fear. I don't think a jihadist or some mountain man screaming at me on a social audio app is going to come to Chicago and waste his time. But if they want to look at my DD214s, which I have to use all the time, I'd be happy to show them to you. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not lying to you. I'm totally transparent and telling you the truth, making a real financial disclosure. Not just my financial disclosure, but a federal financial disclosure. Spending is out of control. Stop the borrowing, stop the spending. I created a famous mantra on this app called BRT, CRT, BLM, LGBTQ. But the new one is stop borrowing, stop spending. Or stop spending, stop borrowing. That's the new mantra of the campaign. I know Brad Brad has clubhouse derangement syndrome. He attacks everybody. And in the process, he's his own worst enemy. That's not how I live my life. I'd rather be poolside or at the beach right now playing volleyball, sipping on a daiquiri, doing yoga, not on Clown House defending my honor, my character, and my sacred honor. I should have just said character and sacred honor, but you get the point. But Brad did read with us in the other room, so I'll give that shout out to Brad. Not everybody read a book with us. He did. So I stand with Brad, even though Brad doesn't stand with me. That's true Christian character. What reward do you have in heaven unless you're willing to let it go? You got to get that. You got to go the extra step in communication. I'd like to read a couple Bible verses before we end or I leave in the muff. I hope they're more helpful to you than anything you've listened to so far today, because I get the feeling that it's just the Brad show or the Keegan show or the Jazzy show or the Roger Mayhem show or the John Kidover show. Right now it's the John Kidover show, which, it's my favorite show. And I'm not narcissistic or self-centered. I just, I like reading. That's when I like when I'm speaking through reading a book, that's when I'm happiest. So take the deepest breath of the day. Hold it for 10 seconds. Listen to this. Every nursery rhyme contains profound magical secrets which are open to every one who has made a study of the correspondences of the Holy Kabbalah. To puzzle out an imaginary meaning for this nonsense sets one thinking of the mysteries. One enters into deep contemplation of holy things, and God Himself leads the soul to a real illumination. Hence also the necessity of incarnation. The soul must descend into all falsity in order to attain all truth. For instance, old Mother Hubbard went to her cupboard to get her poor dog a bone. When she got there, the cupboard was bare, and so the poor dog had none. Who is this ancient and venerable mother of whom it is spoken? Verily, she is none other than Bina, as is evident in the use of the holy letter H with which her name begins. Nor is she the sterile mother Ama, or Amma, but the fertile Ama, for within her she bears Vau, the sun. For the second letter of her name and R, the penultimate, is the sun Tifereth, the sun. The other three letters of her name, B, A, and D, are the three paths which join the three supernals. To what cupboard did she go? Even to the most secret caverns of the universe. And who is this dog? It is not the name of God spelt Kabbalistically backwards. And what is this bone? This bone is the wand, the holy lingam. The complete interpretation of the rune is now open. This rhyme is the legend of the murder of Osiris by Typhon. The limbs of Osiris were scattered in the Nile. Isis sought them in every corner of the universe, and she found all except his sacred lingam, which was not found until quite recently, vide Fuller, the star in the west. Let us take another example from this rich storehouse of magic lore. Little Bo Peep, she lost her sheep and couldn't tell where to find them. Leave them alone, and they'll come home, dragging her tails behind them. Bo is not Bo is the root meaning light, from which spring such words as Bo tree, Bodhisattva, and Buddha. And Peep is Apep, the serpent Apophis. This poem therefore contains the same symbol as that in the Egyptian and Hebrew Bibles. The snake is the serpent of initiation, as the lamb is the savior. This ancient one, the wisdom of eternity, sits in its old anguish awaiting the Redeemer, and this holy verse triumphantly assures us that there is no need for anxiety. The saviors will come one after the other at their own good pleasure, and as they may be needed, and drag their tails, that is to say, those who follow out their holy commandments to the ultimate goal. Again we read, little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, eating of curds and whey. Up came a big spider and sat down beside her and frightened Miss Muffet away. Little Miss Muffet unquestionably represents Malka, for she is unmarried, she is seated upon a tuffet. It as she is the unregenerate soul upon Tiferet, upon Tophet, the pit of hell. She eats curds and whey, that is, not the pure milk of the mother, but milk which has undergone decomposition. But who is the spider? Verily, herein is a venerable arcanum connoted. Like all insects, the spider represents a demon. But why a spider? Who is this spider who taketh hold with her hands and is in kings' palaces? The name of this spider is death. It is the fear of death which first makes the soul aware of its forlorn condition. It would be, some type of symbol, interesting if tradition had preserved for us Miss Muffet's subsequent adventures, but we must proceed to consider the interpretation of the following rhyme. Little Jack Horner sat in a corner eating a Christmas pie. He stuck in his thumb and pulled out a plum and said, "What a good boy am I." In the interpretation of this remarkable poem, there is a difference between two great schools of adepts. One holds that Jack is merely a corruption of John, Ion, he who goes, Hermes, the messenger. The other prefers to take Jack simply and reverently as Iacchus, the spiritual form of Bacchus. But it does not matter very much whether we insist upon the swiftness or the rapture of the Holy Spirit of God, and that it is he of whom it is here spoken is evident, for the name Horner could be applied to none other by even the most casual reader of the Holy Gospels and the works of Congreve. And the context makes this even clearer, for he sits in a corner, that is, in the place of Christ, the cornerstone, eating, that is, enjoying that which the birth of Christ assures to us. He is the Comforter who replaces the absent Savior. If there was still any doubt of his identity, it would be cleared up by the fact that it is the thumb, which is attributed to the element of spirit, and not one of the four fingers of the four lesser elements, which he sticks into the pie of the new dispensation. He plucks forth one who is ripe, no doubt to send him forth as a teacher into the world, and rejoices that he is so well carrying out the will of the Father. Let us pass from this most blessed subject to yet another. Tom, Tom, the piper's son, stole a pig and away he run. The pig was eat and Tom was beat and Tom went roaring down the street. This is one of the more exoteric of these rhymes. In fact, it is no much better than a sun myth. Tom is Tum, the god of the sunset, called the son of Apollo the piper, the maker of music. The only difficulty in the poem concerns the pig, for anyone who has watched an angry sunset in the tropics upon the sea will recognize how uncomparable a description of that sunset is given in that wonderful last line. Some have thought that the pig refers to the evening sacrifice, others that she is Hathor, the Lady of the West, in her more sensual aspect. But it is probable that this poem is only the first stanza of an epic. It has all the characteristic marks. Someone said of the Iliad that it did not finish, but merely stopped. This is the same. We may be sure that there is more of this poem. It tells us too much and too little. How came this tragedy of the eating of a merely stolen pig? Veil this mystery of who eat it. It must be abandoned, then, as at least partially insoluble. Let us consider this poem. Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock struck one, and the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock. Here we are on higher ground at once. The clock symbolizes the spinal column, or if you prefer it, time, chosen as one of the conditions of normal consciousness. The mouse is the ego. Mus, a mouse, being only some. I am, spelt Kabbalistically backwards. This ego, or prana, or kundalini force, being driven up the spine, the clock strikes one, that is, the duality of consciousness is abolished, and the force again subsides to its original level. Hickory dickory dock is perhaps merely the mantra which was used by the adept who constructed this rhyme, thereby hoping to fix it in the minds of men so that they might attain to samadhi by the same method. Others attribute to it a more profound significance, which it is impossible to go into at this moment, for we must turn to Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, Humpty Dumpty got a great fall. All the king's horses, and all the king's men couldn't set up Humpty Dumpty again. This is so simple as hardly to require explanation. Humpty Dumpty is, of course, the egg of spirit, and the wall is the abyss. His fall is therefore the descent of spirit into matter, and it is only too painfully familiar to us that all the king's horses and all his men cannot restore us to the height. Only the king himself can do that. But one hardly dare comment upon a theme which has been so fruitfully treated by Ludovicus Carolus, that most holy illumined man of God. His masterly treatment of the identity of the three reciprocating paths of Daleth, Teth, and Peh is one of the most wonderful passages in the Holy Kabbalah. His resolution of what we take to be the bond of slavery into very love, the embroidered neckband of honor bestowed upon us by the king himself, is one of the most sublime passages in this class of literature. Peter, Peter, pumpkin eater, had a wife and couldn't keep her. He put her in a peanut shell, then he kept her very well. This early authentic text of the Hinayana school of Buddhism is much esteemed even today by the more cultured and devoted followers of that school. The pumpkin is, of course, the symbol of resurrection, as is familiar to all students of the story of Jonah and the gourd. Peter is therefore the Arahat who has put an end to his series of resurrections. That he is called Peter is a reference to the symbolizing of Arahats as stones in the great wall of the guardians of mankind. His wife is, of course, by the usual symbolism, his body, which he could not keep until he put her in a peanut shell, the yellow robe of a bhikkhu. Buddha said that if any man became an Arahat, he must either take the vows of a bhikkhu that very day or die. And it is this saying of Buddha's that the unknown poet wished to commemorate. Taffy was a Welshman. Taffy was a thief. Taffy came into my house, and he stole a leg of beef. I went to Taffy's house. Taffy was in bed. I took out a carving knife and cut off Taffy's head. Taffy is merely short for Taff. Taftharath, the spirit of Mercury, and the god of Welshmen or thieves. My house is, of course, equivalent to my magic circle. Note that Beth, the letter of Mercury, and the Magus means a house. The beef is a symbol of the bull, Apis, the Redeemer. This is therefore that which is written, O my God, disguise thy glory, come as a thief, and let us steal away the sacraments. In the following verse we find that Taffy is in bed owing to the operation of the sacrament. The great task of the alchemist has been accomplished. The mercury is fixed. One can then take the holy dagger and separate the caput mortuum from the elixir. Some alchemists believe that the beef represents that dense physical substance which is imbibed by mercury for his fixation. But here, as always, we should prefer the more spiritual interpretation. Bye, baby bunting. Daddy's gone a hunting. He's gone to get a rabbit skin to wrap my baby bunting in. This is a mystical charge to the newborn soul to keep still, to remain steadfast in meditation. For in Bai, Beth is the letter of thought, Yod, that of the hermit. It tells the soul that he, father of all, will cloth him about with his own majestical silence. For is not the rabbit he who lay low and said nothing? Pat a cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Pat it and prick it and mark it with P. Bake it in the oven for baby and me. This rhyme is unusually accompanied, even today in the nursery, with a ceremonial clapping of hands, the symbol of samadhi. Compare what is said on this subject in our comment on the famous Advent passage in Thessalonians. The cake is, of course, the bread of the sacrament, and it would ill become candidate Congressman Kitover to comment upon the third line, though it may be remarked that even among the Catholics, the wafer has always been marked with a phallus or a cross. Okay, that's my mystical reading of the day. Wallace, Chris, Pete, Chris, Elke, I hope you enjoyed it. This has been the campaign to elect John Kitover town hall event, otherwise known as candidate Congressman John Kitover versus Brad Stoffelschnauzelberger here on Clown House. Hope you enjoyed it. Okay, I'm not going to end the room, but I'm going to leave, and I'm just going to play the Tao Te Ching or something to that extent. I wish the room had replays, but my other rooms are on replay, which is, you know, a good thing. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Let's just play a little Alan Watts. Could you use up to $750? Find it at BioLife. Thanks, Chris. Up to $750 is waiting for you. When a man starts to wake up. Chris, post it to X and tag me and say candidate Congressman John Kitover fundraiser, Brad versus John on Clubhouse. Tag Clubhouse. Tag me. There you go. Thank you, Chris. He naturally pulls away from the crowd. Not because he hates people, but because the usual way of connecting stops making sense. Most conversations revolve around status, gossip, or complaints. And once he begins to see through that, it gets harder to engage. He's not bitter. He's not isolating himself out of pride. He's just stopped chasing what others are still chasing. He starts to notice the performance in everyday interaction, the need to be liked, to belong, to say the right thing. And without making a big deal about it, he quietly steps back. People might still wave. They might still offer small talk, but the connection is no